one's with it. That one's on it, nothing else, we got that going.
I'll put this on for you somewhere.
Usually it's just a report.
Yep, power.
Right there.
Okay, we got somebody else coming in.
Sounds like somebody else is coming.
Folder A, B,
No.
C, or D.
Somebody coming down the hall?
Yeah, I'll check.
Somebody coming down the hall?
I'll record.
There you go, that's working. All right, so we got saved minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting for 6/12 of this year.
You guys seen this one already? I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting dated June 12th,
No,
2017.
No, side to the end. All right.
I think you do one.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have minutes from the Board of Selectmen's meeting, non-public from 6/12. We have two of those.
Yeah, this one isn't stamped for your signature.
Well, let's hang off on that one until next week, then, so.
I move that we accept the minutes of the non-public Selectmen meeting dated June 12th.
For a second?
All in favor?
Aye. So we're going to table the next one.
All right, so we're going to move right on into old business, which is deputy town clerk.
Kathy is not here this
Okay.
evening.
We, just to bring everybody up to speed, Nora Varney, who came back as a deputy clerk, has decided to go back into the hair business. So she stepped down again a second time. I do know Kathleen Blaney has posted it for 2 weeks. Okay, and this is the second week. She's already had one person out of another town who was very interested in doing the job. So she's posted it, and we'll wait to see how it works out. How many people sign up to, and so she can make a decision at that point. So that's basically all it is. But she's got one applicant. So all right, so
Some places.
We got it.
Sorry.
you're all right. We make room for people. No, you're fine. You're fine.
Thank you.
All right, so old business, waste management, bulk pickup, and we'll turn it right over. Because I guess there's questions about that, the bulk pickup thing that we had.
Yeah, well, and this is, again, Pete LaChapelle with Waste Management, and this is Chris Kanka. He's our route manager, so the drivers that go around, they report directly to Chris.
Okay.
So I wanted to bring Chris here for operational backing and knowledge, is to help the board make whatever decisions you folks will make.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna really hand it over to Chris, because I know years ago, when we started doing this, the bulk was 30 tons, not even.
It was less than that.
So when we did this, we would send the normal truck and then what, one other truck to come. Well, it's to a point now where it's over what, how many tons per?
I think it was 70 tons this last bulk pickup. So I was concerned last year with illegal dumping, and I traded emails with Laura saying, hey, you gotta, he's either out of town people bringing it in and just dumping it, or residents encouraging friends and relatives to bring stuff to their house.
The Middleton Friends and Family Plan.
Correct.
So to speak.
So I was concerned last year when it jumped from its normal, I don't know, maybe it was 15 or 16 tons of bulk up to 40 or 45 tons. And this year we had 45 tons in the first 4 hours. And it ended up being 70, and it took 6 trucks to do it over a period of 3 or 4 days. So it was just an astronomical amount of bulk for a town this size.
And we do know there was a lot of illegal dumping going on.
And if you look around too, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Chairman, but if you look at Milton, Farmington, all the surrounding towns, Wakefield, they all have a charge to pay for that. So you know, well, Roxanne's here and I live in the next town over, hey, can I bring my stuff over? Sure, Pete.
Sure, Pete, I like you.
Yeah, so I could bring it over, and that's what's happening, like I said, the friends and family plan, and, you know, I know I had a conversation with Laura about the town is looking at probably implementing some type of sticker program. Great program, she had mentioned doing that, I think, weekly, and I'm like, well, we can't run it every Tuesday, we just don't have the trucks, we allocate certain trucks, and actually, I was gonna come to you folks and say, hey, next year, when we do this, we're gonna probably have to do it on a Saturday if you make no changes, because I just don't have the dedicated trucks. We went from 2, maybe 3, up to 5 or 6, so now we have to change that whole pickup day to a Saturday, so I have that extra manpower to collect everything. Now, if you do make that change, I'm sure that, and again, it has to be, it can't be 50 cents a ticket,
Yeah.
you gotta look around what other communities are doing, and
We have kind of done that. John's reached out to several people as well, so, go ahead.
A few ideas. Does it have to be only twice a year? Could it be once a month?
It could be.
Okay.
The
I
trade-offs.
understand once a week is a lot to,
The issue is going to be, it's all comes down to money, right? So if we have to run a third truck out here once a month, that comes with a cost. We just can't absorb the cost of running a third truck 12 times a year versus twice a year.
okay. But even at twice a year, you're gonna get a lot, even if it's legal, you're gonna get a lot of stuff. So, here's what I've bounced around with other people, tell me what you think of it. When we send out the tax bills, we would send out a certain number of free stickers. 5, okay? That would go on anything that is not regular pickup. After that, if you have something else to put out during the course of the year, come here and buy a sticker. I'm not sure how you can differentiate between a sticker for a chair and a sticker for a sofa.
Typically how they would do it for Somersworth, which is the other town I know of that does a sticker program. A sticker costs X, be it $5, $10,
Right.
$15, whatever you come up with. Larger items require more stickers. So you have a single price for a sticker, and say a reclining chair takes 1 sticker. A couch takes 2, but a sectional couch takes 3. In other words, the bigger the
Right.
pieces, the more stickers they have to have. That way you're not selling a sticker for $1 and somebody's coming in and saying, oh, I need a sticker for a lamp, and they're putting it on a bolt and putting it out at the side of the road.
My concern is how would you determine what's small and what's large?
And that's, if I may butt into that, some of the issues I think that the challenges would be from both your perspective and ours, because we don't know, they're not gonna be calling us directly, they're gonna put it there. They could come in the town office, say, I need 1 sticker, and, well, what is it for? Oh, a little chair, and then we get there and it's a big mattress or something else, or a
Right.
big sectional or something. So,
Is a 2-person love seat a chair or a couch?
That can be decided by you folks. And you guys can decide what's.
But then, how do we then go to the place to determine what it
Right.
actually is, short of sending someone out to look at the stuff? I'm wondering about just a flat rate, $10 for a sticker.
but
Make it
again,
high enough to cover everything. You've got 4 mattresses, 4 stickers. At 4 tables, 4 stickers.
$10 at each.
Right?
And for those size items, you won't get much pushback. It's when you have somebody who has a lamp. They're gonna pitch a fit when you say, okay, it's $10 to get rid of a table lamp.
you know, but typically, most
Keep it
residents.
distant.
Break it up, put it in.
Most people
Right,
can break it
exactly.
and-
Right.
and
It's gonna
put
go
it
in the bag.
Yeah.
So
right.
you can't come up with a contingency for everything, but I'd have to go check to see what Somersworth have, but I believe they have a laundry list of, not all
Yeah,
inclusive,
but
but
who
if
enforces it?
You wouldn't pick something up if you know that a mattress requires 2 stickers and has got
Right.
1 on it. They're not gonna
we
pick.
wouldn't take it, or they would call our dispatchers and say, hey, there's only
Right.
1 sticker on this thing. The problem arises with the weather too. You put stickers on things and it rains, stickers come off. The other lovely part of this is people are gonna drive by and take the stickers and put it on their own stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, think of it.
They do.
I did, I thought of it.
Oh, I thought you said you did.
You did.
Oh, you did it? Did you, John? Yeah.
You thought of it.
I mean, implementing a sticker program is definitely, you will see the benefits of reduced tonnage on that bulky event. If you have 1 or 2 times a year or once a month, you will receive a reduction, because now if I live in, you know, Wakefield, I gotta pay $10 there or $10 here, well, might as well bring it there,
Right.
it's closer.
You're saying it'd be cheaper to do it twice a year and use stickers?
I think you will see a reduction.
If you're worried about stickers being stolen or swapped or whatever, why not just have it where people come once every whatever to like a location like here or like next door where there's a big parking lot, and you pull up with whatever you want and you pay for, you say I want to get rid of this, this and this, and then you pay for it.
And that's an option as well, that's what some other towns do.
And then that way everything's being monitored, everything's getting thrown out appropriately, and then it's being paid for appropriately.
And who monitors it?
We have a health officer, and we have other people, I'm sure.
I'm not sure you'd be in charge of checking on the trash being thrown out. I thought someone might say the highway department, they're already busy enough. Okay, police,
So, you know, right now, as we do it, we have the electronic and the chemical, the metal scrap, yeah, we do that once a year as well already, so.
But who's in charge if the person takes and throws a sofa onto the side of the road? And it gets littered?
certainly a good question, okay?
And that was
Isn't
some-
the health officer in charge of that?
And that was some of the concerns we had, where we knew there were houses that were, you could tell by even from the road looking at them, they had stickers on them, they were repossessed homes with the water turned off and stuff like that, and piles of bulk
Right.
in front of the houses, and we know they're not occupied homes, so we called and asked the police to go tear into the bags. I don't know if they did or not, but for a bulk item, you can't find any identifying marks on a couch.
Right.
But it ends up being legally dumped just the same.
One solution for the removal and reusing of someone else's sticker would be to have every sticker labeled with the name and an address of the person buying it.
Yeah, but then that puts a burden on the people picking up the trash to have to stop and read. This is 41 Maple, well, but we're only at 5 Maple.
I'm
it's
thinking
fine.
that it wouldn't necessarily be checked on by the drivers, but I think it would be a deterrent for someone seeing a name and address on it. They're gonna be a little nervous about picking it up and putting it on their stuff. It's a deterrent, it's not a guarantee.
How does
It's a deterrent.
Summersworth do it?
Say again?
How does Summersworth do it?
The residents go to the town and they buy stickers.
Right? How often is it picked up?
We continuously pick up just because of truck styles that we have in the size of the town. They can buy stickers and put out items pretty much all the
They have a
time.
different program in the town, they have a pay-as-you-throw, so they buy the blue
Trash bags.
bags and then stickers for bulky items.
As far as getting the items picked up, only once a month, or would it be able to be picked up the next week? If I have a full-size mattress, I buy a sticker,
The issue-
when does it get picked up?
The issue we have right now is we run one-man trucks to do the trash
Yeah.
every week except for the bulk weeks. So those truck styles aren't really conducive to taking large bulk items. They're meant more for bags or trash. So we would actually have to run a different truck style to do it, which means a two-man truck versus a one-man truck.
But should we stay away from bulk pickup and go with pay-as-you-go with the bulk items?
Well, if I may, backing up a couple of years ago, I met with, I think, Evelyn and a few others and introduced different type of programs that the town could do. One, that's probably your best program out there, but there's a lot of resistance to it because people are gonna be, hey, you know what, I pay taxes, I shouldn't have to pay, this is another tax. That could be argued. I look at it as it's a true user fee program, just like the electricity. If you use a lot, you're gonna pay for a lot. Same thing with the pay-as-you-throw, a bag, orange, whatever color town, if they did decide to do that, you come up with, if you don't recycle but you do, well, why should you pay for his recycling? Right? It's a true user fee. You use 2 bags, you pay for 2 bags. You use 5, you pay for 5. Great program, that's probably the truest user-based, user fee type program out there. The next, as I mentioned a couple of years ago, was take baby steps, maybe limit the amount of trash that you could potentially put out, maybe like a barrel limit or a bag limit. I think I suggested at the time a 2 or 3 barrel limit. That would help, and I don't want to see, and you don't want to offer recycling, because at the time I was offering recycling, so there's no recycling in town, so you really can't reduce it because they have no place to put the recycling. So that's when I was providing that information, you guys were looking at recycling at the time, and hence the town voted it down, so. But to answer your question, if,
Not to eliminate the trash pickup, I'm saying eliminate the bulk,
If-
the twice a year, and only pay as you go for the bulk items.
So then, if you did it every week, you'd have to pay for an extra truck every
Right.
week.
yeah,
What about quarterly, Pete?
we offer that quarterly. Right now, the town, how the agreement is structured, it's 2 times per year. We can add more, because every time my truck comes in town for that pickup or that event, we're charging you like $2,000 or whatever it is, just to ride around all the streets. Then you pay tonnage on top of that. So if you do once a month, that is gonna be $2,000 extra per month. Yeah. And tonnage. If you keep it, I think you're on the right track by looking at this and addressing it. It is an issue. People, they're used to it. Everyone knows, hey, Middleton's free. I'm gonna bring all my stuff there. And now we're faced, and we're here to try to help. And you're looking at the right thing with the sticker program. That'll help, I think, alleviate some of that illegal dumping and leakage, as I call it, from our
What if your,
community.
what if your stickers were numbered? You purchase numbered stickers, like 100 to 500. John needs 6 stickers, so he's issued stickers 1 through 6. Joe needs 3 stickers, he's issued 7 through 10. And when these guys get to a location, the pickup guys, maybe if there's some wacky thing going on, something not, you know, kosher, you could, if there's no sticker numbers, then, but you can take down the sticker numbers and the town knows who those were issued to.
That would require you at this end, when you're issuing them out, to be noting who's
Right,
getting them,
the
and there's
name,
kind of a
yeah,
workload that
exactly.
goes with that, too.
Right.
And the thing is, our program should not be something they have to monitor and look at as well.
Right.
One thing that other communities do, is it Kingston, East Kingston, for their bulk, they buy stickers now, but they also call Waste Management, and, you know, Pete LaChapelle on Main Street, 10 Main Street, I have a couch and a mattress. So now Waste Management knows when we have our tickets generated, they get the
What
tickets
we're gonna
for
go
it,
pick up.
what we're gonna pick up. You know, that would help too, along with the stickers, and we know our drivers when he's showing up in his road. Is that all on screen now, or is it?
Yeah,
So on the screen, they'll know they're coming up to your house, oh yeah, okay, you have a couch and a chair. And then we see 15 other things, well, wait a minute,
They're taking one couch, one chair, and the rest is sitting there.
yeah. So you
Now-
can, we can work that program, so they call our 800 number, they call our customer service about a week in advance maybe, letting us know, and if there's no sticker attached, and I can provide you guys, we can go to a local printer or use this, what's the name of the company that does the stickers?
Label Tech?
No,
Is that the one?
no, there's another one, but I can get you some information on who does that. You may want to use a local, but they can print up stickers for you and design them any way the town wishes.
I was under the impression that if I wanted to get rid of a full-size mattress, I can buy my tickets Monday and put my mattress out on Tuesday. No?
That was an
That's a
option.
possibility, it's not necessarily what we're
We'll
gonna go with.
build a program around whatever you guys want,
But
it's just a matter of when you start looking at when it comes time to figure
What's
out
been the
how much
most
it's gonna cost.
successful?
Sticker program works really well, and then the central collection, like you talked about, works extremely well too, but it requires a
Manpower.
manpower on
So
that.
who is the
customer.
manpower that,
It's a volunteer type of thing.
Obviously, we provide the people to run the trucks and stuff like that, but we don't,
To pick it up once they brought it in.
But-
Say
but
you
we
had
don't
somebody
really-
in town to monitor some
Yeah,
of the.
because we don't know who's residents or not, and it's not really our position to be, give me ID,
Yeah.
show me that you're from Middleton.
so who does that part?
Someone in the
Some in
town.
the town, yeah.
And that can be a problem for elderly or
Yeah.
handicapped that can't.
But,
Well,
no, that's a
wait
very
minute,
good point that you bring up too about elderly. And, you know, I look at us today, I've had this discussion, folks, 1,000 times. I've been with Waste Management 15 years now. A lot of people, when they buy a new mattress or a couch, well, they can pay the delivery, and they'll take the old one.
And a lot of
That's
mattress
right,
places will take it away.
exactly,
So,
that's what I've always said.
Furthermore,
Why do they keep it?
other towns,
So why do you have 5 of
I'm
them?
familiar with
They pay to get rid of it.
Milton,
Yeah.
through the Farm Museum.
Sometimes
I'm
they
familiar
take it for
with
nothing.
Wakefield through,
Oh, yeah, I've never had
Church.
any problem.
I'm familiar with New Durham because I own property in New Durham. They all have stations where you go and drop everything off. And if a person is elderly, they still get it there. Okay, one way or another. A friend has a truck, but I do not believe we have to provide a service that eliminates any extra work at all. If we had a system of coming here, it'd be up to them to get here with it. Okay? Speaking of all that, do towns ever get into a cooperative agreement where our residents would bring their bulk
Sure.
to
Somebody else's
somebody
transfer
else and
station.
they pay them for it?
Yeah,
Yep.
but Freedom, New Hampshire goes to Wakefield.
Kingston goes to Newton.
Kingston and.
Freedom goes to Wakefield?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
so
a
does,
That's
haul.
a hike.
so does.
not Freedom, is it Freedom? No.
Fremont,
No,
Not Fremont, that's
no,
even
no.
worse.
No, Brookfield?
probably Brookfield.
Brookfield.
Brookfield, yeah,
Brookfield
it's
goes-
Brookfield, I'm sorry. I was
Brookfield
reading-
goes to Wakefield.
That's what it was, thank you. But, and then you're right, there's, Kingston, residents have to go to Newton,
And I think Raymond goes to Newton.
correct.
So that's
there
a
are towns
possibility.
that can bring it, that would, a board decision, you have to contact the other municipalities to see, and then work out a fee schedule. But it is, and yes, we can do that, as you suggested, having a centralized location, sure, we can do that. We can either A, man it with a rear load truck with a helper to, help offload. We won't ID anyone, it's his men, they'll just load it, pack out in whatever time frame you want us. Or, again, you can man it, we can drop off roll-off containers and you can fill them up. That's what Fremont does. We deliver 14 or 18 30-yard roll-offs. And they have it for the weekend, they fill them, and we come that next weekend, start hauling them away.
Yeah.
So, two different options, get the job done, not as efficient, people so very used to the curbside, and I'm sure enjoy it, and the convenience.
The downside to central drop-off without a sticker program or without staffing to monitor is that
You're still gonna have the same
You're still gonna
situation.
you're
Same
gonna
problem.
still be importing out-of-town
Sure.
bulk under the guise of, hey, I'm a Middleton resident, hey, friends and family, bring all your bulk to my house and we'll cart it on
Didn't we
down.
have containers out here once before for stuff and we stopped it because of that?
That was recycling stuff.
Oh, it was recycled?
Years ago,
Yeah.
yeah.
Years
Yeah.
ago, yep.
That worked like for a while.
So they
Tough
mix
dilemma.
everything together.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, in one way, it is just quit doing it, but you know where that's all gonna go.
Yeah, all the
The
time.
woods, side of the road, someone else's property, stuff in, yes, sir.
To this, excuse me, this gentleman's point, the friends and family plan coming out of town, that's not gonna be limited unless you do the pay-as-you-go thing. So at the end, regardless if it's sticker or temporary, 2-3 times a year, creating a transfer station there for a weekend. Ultimately, if you charge by what's being getting rid of, that's gonna be hold people more accountable. So regardless of
I
how you
agree with
administer
you.
it, I think you need to do the user fee.
I mean, for residents and stuff like that, as a courtesy, give them a couple stickers. Okay, and at that point, pay as you go. I like the
I mean,
idea.
I look at my own household and really the bulky items, I had a stove replaced, died, it was old, and they came, took the old one, put the new one in.
That's
Done.
right, exactly.
No, I'm sure it was all included in my
Exactly.
price, but they paid for it. And I had a sofa delivered, the other one, they took it for me, great. And that was pretty much it in the last 6-7 years that I've thrown out.
There's no reason to keep
Mattresses
stuff.
are always taken. So,
Realistically, I don't think, I think you mentioned something like 5 stickers per family. I think that's
Yeah, I think that's.
way,
much.
way too many.
Just a number,
I've
nothing,
been here almost 20, I've never put anything out.
nothing to, hold on to.
I mean, I don't, personally, I don't think that we should just give stickers, give them out. I think if you wanna get rid of something, you need to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because the thing of it is my next door neighbor might not be looking to get anything, but get rid of anything, and be like, hey, John,
Yeah.
can I have your 5
Sure.
stickers? And then,
I can see
Yeah.
that happening.
They
and,
get used.
or I get 5 and I got 5 friends and family that are coming in from out of town.
Yep.
So, I just, and right, how much bulk do you really have to,
well, depending on the bet.
There's a lot, came from somewhere.
But if it comes down to someone renovating a home or something, then that's part of the cost that they're dealing with.
well, that's when
Right.
I rent a dumpster and
I agree.
and I pay $800
I agree with
for, you know.
They have to pay for it
That's what
some
I
other
did.
ways, so that's why they do
Here,
it.
different but related topic, we've been talking bulk. Let's talk for a moment about the weekly pickup of bags. You mentioned buy the bags, colored bags, whatever. And people complain that they are already paying the taxes. Wouldn't pay-as-you-go bags reduce the cost of the town?
It would reduce the cost, but
It would, in fact,
people's
reduce
argument.
their taxes.
Potentially,
It has
but
to.
but it won't because you guys, you don't have recycling, right?
No, even without recycling, just trash bags.
The trash bags, yeah, you could do that, but the argument that I hear a lot, and because I sit in a lot of meetings like this, and residents, I don't wanna go to pay-as-you-throw, I pay my taxes here, and that's supposed to cover my trash collection. In theory, yeah, it does, but the pay-as-you-throw was introduced many, many moons ago to help defray the costs. It's not gonna cover the whole, it could, but the bags would be $20 a bag, and people would be thrown out of town.
You have to recycle.
Yeah, I think recycling that kind of goes hand in hand. You want to reduce your MSW tonnage and increase recycling.
And I think that's the biggest reason our recycling failed is because we did not put a limit on the amount of
Yeah.
trash people put out.
Exactly.
And I know John was, we're against limiting it, but Rochester, man, that's it, for a family. Now, if you need more than that, the town could certainly make exceptions for small businesses or daycare like Joe's, something like that, fine. Get an exemption or an additional allotment of containers. But I think limiting the amount of trash a family puts out is a really good idea.
And recycling is the answer.
But how do you decide how to do that? You might have a family of 2, that might only put out 1 bag of trash a week. But then you've got a family of 5 that might put out 3 bags. You're gonna tell them they can't put out 3 bags? Or do they just get rid of the other 3 people in the family?
Well,
Now,
come
that's-
to the
no,
town,
it's
that's ridiculous.
or
Come to the
oversight
town
and-
and talk to them about it.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have to pay for
Okay.
it.
But those bins that they have in Rochester, those barrels, they're good sized barrels and you can
Yeah.
fit quite a bit in there.
I've seen those.
And if you are using far more than that, even for a family of 5, what the hell are you putting in there?
Yeah.
Depends on how old your kids are.
Well, recycling, you can
Recycle.
recycle almost everything that you
Yeah.
use, almost everything. There's very little that you can't recycle.
Tell you, I haven't put trash out on the curbside. You can ask your drivers about 117 New Portsmouth Road. They probably don't think we live there. We put out 1 bag of trash a month, if that.
Yeah.
Are you in
Because-
contact
I am.
regarding, working with Laura, but also for recycling program?
Yeah.
That you worked with?
I worked with,
Evelyn, and they had, Evelyn,
committee.
and there was a committee with, Evelyn, I don't remember who's all on it.
Conservation Committee,
Okay,
yeah.
that's how it started.
right, so, and they got all the footwork done and brought it to us, and then we had a meeting, and then went that road with it, so.
Can I ask a question of Waste Management?
Sure.
Waste Management does a lot of community projects. They help communities with all sorts of different things. Is there some way that you could help us, giving us some kind of a break as far as recycling to try and get this program off the ground? I mean, we couldn't afford it the first time around, for 2 reasons, I think. One was the
We
price.
didn't limit it.
And maybe you could give us a break on that. And the second thing is, once again, we didn't limit the amount of trash.
Right. Well, as far as a break, obviously, waste has to cover our costs, right? With recycling market, the commodity market, it fluctuates drastically. I mean, back, 6, 7 years ago, we were actually paying to recycle cardboard, where 15 years ago, it was over $300 a ton to recycle it. We were paying in like 2005-07 timeframe. It's gone back up, it's about $1.40 a ton now, but the market shifts so drastically. So I mean, if the town decided to go that route, sure, I could come in, we could negotiate, this is what Waste Management could do to add that program, but it's gonna cost more. It's gonna cost more money, bottom line,
At the beginning.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
But this has to go hand in hand. Again, I was here, and now that I have the full board's audience, if you do ever think about implementing recycling again, there's a trade-off. You need to implement a program that, I don't wanna use the word force, but encourages people to recycle. Again, either a barrel limit, bag limit, or go to the ultimate program as a pay-as-you-throw.
Out of all the communities that you cover, which community has the best program, would you say?
For recycle? Or just
Recycling.
East Kingston, probably, as far as
Well, it's just-
participation rate.
No, I say as far as what I consider diversion rate, that's the recycling percentage would be Raymond. They're about 36%, they're hovering right around there, 35, 36, somewhere in there.
Of participation?
That's their, not participation rate, that's their recycling percentage.
Okay.
Look at the city of Rochester, where I live, We are at 20% right now. We're terrible. And we're the host community of waste management, and we are. But we're going to a new program there, we're gonna go automated. But with with Raymond, they're a pay-as-you-throw community, so they pay for their trash, so people are incentivized to recycle, and we have a lot of participation.
So when you do the pay as you
Throw.
throw, so you have your bag that you pay for, and then you have your recycle with it?
Yep.
On this, oh, okay.
Yep.
And you can recycle as much as you want, yes ma'am.
Okay, that was,
You gotta remember, John, when you're asking questions like that, you want towns that are comparable to this one. Rochester in no way
Oh, I
is
understand
comparable
that.
to this. So I mean, even Raymond is bigger than us.
No, but my question was, why are they successful?
Right. But that's not how you had originally put the question out, so you gotta be careful what you do.
Who has the best program and the reasons why? Is it because of the limitations on what you can throw away?
Yep.
There's methodology, not
And
science.
another community that's probably, what's the population now?
1,900,
1,900?
close enough.
All right, so East Kingston, smaller. I think they're almost 900, 850-ish, somewhere in there.
Yep.
They're at about 32% diversion rate or recycling rate.
Yep.
Again, different program. They have a cart system like Rochester, but they're fully automated. They have a cart for trash and another one for recycling. Trash goes weekly, recycling every other week. So there's different, you can slice and dice this 100 different ways. It's really ultimately, I'm a city councilor in Rochester, so I sit in your shoes, I know, right? I'm gonna look at this and say, all right, bottom line is, we gotta pay for this. How can we ask people here, do they want this first off? If they do, if there's a big push, then, implement it. They're gonna know it's probably gonna increase.
But if there's a payoff at the end, at the tunnel, as far as your taxes could go down, pay as you go, implement a successful recycling program, and then after a year, your taxes could go down. Instead of paying $1 million a year to waste management, maybe it'll be 500,000.
I like a million better, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding, bad joke.
If we keep going the way we're going with these bulk pickups, our taxes are gonna go up because the cost of all of this is gonna go up, so I think anything that is better than what we're doing now.
And I think the crux of this, if you address at least that bulk issue initially, and start thinking about it, I'd be more than happy to meet with you individually, come back up at a meeting to discuss further about different programs.
Well, we're talking about it but that's something that we need to do.
It's definitely an option, and I like I said, that's probably the truest and best user program out there. And, the little, like one bag a month, well, God love her, it's gonna cost you whatever it is for a bag. And again, that town sets the rate for the bag. You can communicate with other municipalities that have that, and I can give you a list. City of Dover, Somersworth uses them, Raymond, a bunch of communities in Maine that I deal with as a pay-as-you-throw.
And that'll carry over to the illegal dumping as well, because there's a fair number of homes, not a lot on the scale of bulk, but where the garbage that's there is far out of proportion to the number of people that live in those homes.
Yep.
What if you eliminated bulk altogether? Just no bulk? I think.
Well, you could, but where's that stuff gonna end up?
Well, I guess I have a question for, if I may, question for Waste Management. I've been told by some residents that we can go up to your site, and
Turnkey.
yeah, and
Rochester.
deposit stuff up there. Is that correct?
There is a residential drop-off area that's there, that's for Rochester residents, as far as I know. You could certainly into an agreement with them for.
So it's for Rochester residents only?
Only, yeah.
No other residents can, none of your customers
No.
in other towns? Okay,
No.
so then I was misinformed about that.
But is that pay as you go, the people, the Rochester residents?
Got
come
a
there
flat
and they
fee?
pay?
No, our residential drop-off in Rochester is, the landfill's in our backyard. That was one of the host community agreement features that they offered to have. We do curbside collection at a reduced cost in town, and the city of Rochester gets free disposal. That's some of the perks, and then they open 4 days a week with a residential drop-off. But with that residential drop-off, you can bring as much recycling, some yard waste, bulky items, construction demo debris. We do have e-waste for electronic stuff for residents, but I think they're limited to what they can bring down. But no household normal trash is accepted there. It is, let me rephrase that, they do accept it, but me as a resident, if my cart is full, I have to go to City Hall and buy a sticker, put that sticker on the bag and bring it to the residential drop-off, and then they'll take it.
No other towns have that agreement, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But what's the incentive for a Rochester resident to not collect all their friends and neighbors' mattresses and bring them in since it's free for them?
Well, our attendant will look at their license, but we know there's some illegal dumping going on there.
Yeah.
Because I live in town and Chris lives up in Effingham and he brings his mattress over to me, I throw it in the back of my truck and I bring it.
Yeah, it's the same problem we have.
And so I'm sure that occurs, we can't fix every bug that's out there, there's no way. Short than following this guy and, finding what, I've been on the highway coming from Portsmouth from an appointment and behind this pickup truck full of debris, and I followed him all the way in, right into our yard.
Yeah.
So I called the scale house or our attendant and just to inform him, said, hey, check his license. He was from Rochester, but he coming down the highway, I followed him, I picked him up and
Cleaned out someone's apartment.
Yep. Somewhere, to me, why would you come with a huge load, go visit a relative in Portsmouth and then go to, no. So, we see it.
In terms of the recycling and pay-as-you-go, I would request that unlike the first time when we just initiated the recycling, it would be up to the townspeople to receive a package. If you vote for recycling, you're also voting for pay-as-you-go. Okay, I think the people need to be aware of what they're getting into, not just recycling. And, have a go at it. Yes?
Would you separate, excuse me, with that, you'd also separate the bulk pickup as a separate line item from the, so you can do pay-as-you-go for the bulk pickup and pay-as-you-go for your
Yes,
household
right.
trash.
It'd be a package deal.
But
Recycling
you
with
differentiate
pay-as-you-go,
between the
sure.
two.
Yep.
I'm all for giving people the right to make decisions. However, many times they make decisions based on their own personal pocketbook and not necessarily
Sure.
on what's good for the town. Is
Yeah.
this something that has to go to the people for a decision, or is this in the purview of the selectmen to decide what's the best financial arrangement for the town?
We are the stewards of the financial.
I think it's up to the people. That's
Could
small
you,
town government, people have a vote on what they do.
could you potentially have it in writing of we could potentially save X amount of
Oh,
dollars?
sure, we can encourage it, sure.
But, like, if you were to vote on it, explain to the people that over the course of, obviously wouldn't happen in a year, but over the course of a couple of years, potentially our taxes
Right.
could go down because we're using less
And
trash.
do you remember how long it took us to argue with the business for the school?
Well, but I guess my question is, yeah, I understand, putting it out there for the people to vote, I guess, or to get their input. But I guess my thing is for the bulk pickup, I don't think that we should have to, as a taxpayer, I don't think, no, I pay as you go. and
Oh,
then-
I'm not concerned
Okay,
about, I'm not
all right,
about
no,
the
so you're
recycling.
talking just the curbside pickup stuff, not the
And
bulk.
recycling, right.
Okay,
Okay.
I can see, yeah, I can go either way on that one, but definitely the bulk pickup, I'm like,
Oh, I
no,
think
that's,
something has to be done.
yes. And
sooner
I
than
don't
later
think
on that
people
point.
can,
If it keeps doubling, how much our taxes
We
will
have another one coming up in about 3 months.
Correct, and that was my concern last year, then this year, so I think it was trading emails with Laura, because I was pulling my hair out, and I'm just like, I felt bad, because you guys are being stuck with the bill for this. It's not, and I have no latitude in the contract to drive down the street going, not taking that, that's an empty house, I'm not taking it, because then.
How long would it take to implement a sticker system for bulk pickup? We talking a year or months?
Week.
Weeks.
come on, how long?
It would literally be buying stickers and notifying your residents that, hey, effective such and such a date for bulk pickup. you need to get a
Someone
sticker.
suggested no free stickers. If that were the case, it would be easier to implement it because we wouldn't have to mail them out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
People have to come here or wherever the town decides to sell them. And boom. And then that way,
Who else sells them besides?
I know.
Well, I would
we-
think maybe like Dupree's, you might have it Middleton Building Supply because
There's-
someone's in there.
yeah, I
You know,
mean,
they're
I
open
look
Does
at,
more.
that go on in other towns?
yeah, I see larger, like Summersworth will sell them at a couple, like their bags and the tags at a couple of grocery stores or City Hall. I would centralize it as best you can and have more control, but that's a town decision where you wanna send them, to sell, if they want to, people come here to pay taxes, register
Yeah,
vehicles.
twice
they
a
have
year,
time.
it's not a major inconvenience for somebody to come down. anytime in the 6 months before the
But
next
you're saying,
pickup.
in general, it costs less to do it twice a year than once a
I'll make
month.
that motion.
Yeah, because you're already paying the cost for the twice-a-year pickup, where it's, so basically twice in 52 weeks versus
Yeah.
12 times a year versus twice.
Yeah, we're going from 15 tons to almost 70.
Yeah.
Right.
How much was that?
And this last round was really bad, I mean,
At about,
by
what,
the time they done
70,
picking up the
70
regular trash,
$70 a ton.
it's like, what do you do with all the additional when your
So-
barrels are sitting out front already?
How much was that figure?
It's like 72 a ton, I
70
think,
tons,
current.
72 this
I
time.
think it was like 72 a ton.
How much did that
Last year was
cost?
40.
Don't wanna know.
$5,000 for disposal this year versus 2,800 last year. And it was probably half again that the year before.
So it went up $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
But
almost,
beyond that contract. It's a lot of money.
That's
bulk
plus.
went from
That's
15 tons to
what we
30
paid.
tons to,
I mean, that's, in
the total
addition.
was 70 tons in 3 years.
What's anybody think about the price of a sticker? I have a very simple solution. Every sticker costs the same amount.
Right.
Then you folks aren't trying to decide whether that's a 1 sticker or a 2 sticker item.
I like the idea of that too. One price fits all.
Yeah.
And
You
one
have-
sticker per item.
Not requires picking the price to go with it. It has to be high enough to deter.
Mm-hmm. What do you recommend? It's gonna be for each item. $10?
That's what I would say, but
Is
again,
that-
I
is
look
that
That's my
around.
first idea too.
Is that what other towns charge?
This-
10?
Yeah, some,
I don't think
Milton-
anything probably below 10.
No, I would say 10, I mean, and again, if you call all the communities, I think Milton has a scale, so if you come in with your pickup truck or something,
Do have a scale.
they'll weigh you coming in, weigh you going out, and the tear weight is the difference, and that's what you're gonna pay
Yeah.
for whatever you brought in, so. If it's a couch, I think they have a tiered program, but
Yeah.
you could dice this 100
Well, the
different
problem
ways.
is like that, when you have a shopping list, a price list for every little thing like that, well, one price fits all. You get a small item, it's $10. You get a large item, it's $10. It'll average out to be about the same thing regardless.
Yeah.
You know, after this last pickup like that, there can't be a whole lot left of bulk stuff around.
Surprise.
You'd be surprised.
Could you, if you started at $10 and see how it impacts it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you run a pilot program until the following year.
right.
I'm thinking we could get this thing going on bulk pickup. When's in October?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. It's-
Yeah,
Don't post it 2 months in advance either.
No,
That might
but-
help you.
Yeah.
you wanna post it and get that
No, I'll
message
post it.
repeatedly. I don't know if this is
Well, it's
live
gonna be
or
a
not,
sticker
but
program
I
then where
would,
paid.
It will be on the website.
Right. Rick, what were you
Well,
saying?
yeah,
on
you
your
know, if
board
you're under the
outside.
sticker thing, that's one thing, but posting it real early don't help you either. I mean, people know out
Oh.
here 2 months prior to the pickup,
Right.
so they got 2 months to tell their friends to stack stuff up. I mean,
But if we,
if you do it all in stickers, hopefully you'll get rid of that unless the people that live in town want to buy their friends the stickers to put on their stuff that's coming out of Farmington.
right,
At least you'd be getting paid for it.
that's right.
That's why you wanna post it, right? So that people aren't bringing stuff up to me.
Right.
As soon as if they find out next week, they're not gonna welcome that couch in September.
Yeah, I would think if we do this, we ought to, as soon as we can get a supply of stickers, we ought to start selling them so they're ready. As long as,
is Laura out all week?
Yes.
She's off this week.
This week, well, I can email her, I'm not sure around here who's a local printer, you can go to a local shop, I have this vendor that does the actual bags and does stickers. I'll send her what we use, a little different program, but a copy of a sticker that we use in the city of Rochester for extra trash. And I'll give her the name of the company and contact information, and she can give it to you guys, someone can follow up and see what they would charge versus the local printer.
I'd be interested in someone's stickers that hold up pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just for the bulk at this point, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
just for bulk, something that's not gonna go off
But no,
in a rainstorm.
yeah, I agree.
Stick it and tape it if they have to, but again, if people put this out not a week or two in advance,
Right.
because that's when stickers tend to disappear, they'll drive by, go, ooh, it's a little pickup there, I see a sticker, and come back at midnight, sticker's mine, and put it on my stuff. Do it the night before if possible, and then,
Yeah,
If you eliminate friends and family, you won't have stuff building over the weeks
Yeah.
leading up to it, because in theory, you should be coming down the driveway, not trucking in.
Evelyn, question?
Just a question about electrical stuff. When are they gonna do that?
I
It's in
figured.
August,
That's,
I
that's,
think.
a whole that's nothing to do with these.
No, I know, I
It's in,
know.
I think it's like the first week
Oh, it
in
doesn't have
August.
anything to do with them?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
So,
Okay.
yeah, we'll do the electronics. We are going to have a list, we're gonna add some stuff to it, just like, hey, printers, never been on there. Okay,
Yeah.
microwave, electronic microwave, that's never been on the list.
Okay.
We get a bunch of them like that, and then we don't want to charge for it, so, give me a couple bucks, well, we're gonna add that stuff as we need to, so.
Okay, but it's gonna be in August.
It usually is in August.
I think it's around the 18th or 20th, somewhere in
Okay,
there.
all right, thanks.
When you design these stickers to go on the objects, once again, I realize it's not a total answer or solution, but I think if you put the name and address portion on those stickers, it'll be a deterrent for people removing them and reusing them on their own stuff.
The people that buy them could write the name on it
Yeah.
in a magic marker?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
They
probably market
won't.
like that, so.
You can get it big enough where you have just empty lines that they put their name and address.
I gotta be
whatever
honest with
town.
you, when I went through Madbury, a couple weeks ago, I saw these big fluorescent green stickers, and they're probably this long, right down the side of a mattress, and they had like 4 or 5, an apartment complex, like 4 or 5 mattresses lined right in a row, right up the side like that, and they have these big green stickers on them. So I don't know if you guys do Madbury or not, but it's,
Yeah, I'm not-
no, maybe a different.
They may be private. And, you know, again, too, if you guys, I've seen this in Raymond, they went to a page, they've been doing page you throw for trash for years. And a lot of people, oh, I'm not gonna buy that, they'll go out and get a dumpster from whatever company and,
Go right ahead.
yeah, saves you down.
Sure.
Another thing about the stickers we could do too, I don't know what's the cost, but it's just an idea that once you adhere it to something like that, whatever, if you rip it, it voids, says void on it,
That's up, yeah, you could check.
that could be something we could do as well. I mean, depends what it costs to do
Well, the
that.
ink
I mean-
blows up in your hand and you get it.
Well, yeah, you
That's the better idea.
iPad.
Now we know who you are.
But I can provide Laura all that information,
Yeah.
at least some general information and a copy of what we use for a sticker. So,
I've seen them every size from 4 inches by 4 inches to, like you said,
Yeah.
great big things.
it's whatever the town wants to spend, you know, or what you design.
Size determines the cost usually.
Yeah. And then obviously getting the amount that you have to kind of figure out on your own. They might give you some guidance, how many.
No, Mr. Chairman, what do you think? Take a vote? I mean, this is pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, it is.
70 tons is a lot.
No matter what you do, it's not gonna cost you $5 grand for
Yeah.
a sticker. You just spent an extra, I heard roughly $5 grand just on the pickup, right?
Right.
So buying stickers, and that's what you do, it's not gonna cost us $5 grand to buy them, so.
Right.
Have we kicked this around enough with everybody? All right, I entertain a motion that we look into implementing a sticker program for bulk pickup prior to
So-
the October.
Right. So we, get the stickers as soon as possible, so we can start advertising.
John second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Me
There
too.
we go.
And, oh, you wanna set the price, $10?
$10, we'll start at $10. That
See
would
how it
be-
goes, I like your idea. See how it goes for this first one.
Can always change it.
Yeah.
So,
Not to take away from the past committee who was on the recycling, I wasn't involved with that. But I'm gonna ask Laura to reach out to you, because I would like to talk about the recycling program.
I'll be more than happy to come up and meet with you at your convenience.
I mean, I'll even go to Rochester if I
Oh,
want to.
I'm on the road. Probably more convenient for me if I meet you here because I'm
Okay.
gonna be all over the place depending on the day. I'm gonna be in Jackman, Maine on
If you want to put
Thursday.
together a committee, I'm more than
Yeah, I mean, I just wanna get from just my personal self, what you guys can offer, because we're looking at totes and barrels and what, I mean,
Who pays for those barrels in Rochester? Rochester did.
No, we pay for them.
But
Waste.
only in Rochester.
No, I mean, it depends on the, obviously those barrels cost us, they're, depending on the size,
$60 a piece.
roughly
Right.
6, that's a,
But
I
if
think.
Middleton wanted to embark upon using barrels, who pays for them?
Well, ultimately, the town does, right? I mean,
Exactly.
the town's gonna pay for them, right? I mean, we'll probably own them if we, again, an automated truck will come, depending on the time, they'll come with an arm, pick it up overhead, or we have what we call a Corrado truck. It's basically a front load truck that's low, and the barrel's all front the can, and it dumps into the can, and then he dumps up when that's full, dumps it overhead. It's a bigger truck, it holds more weight. sometimes like using those. But we would purchase the barrels, the carts as we call them, deliver them out to every resident, one for recycling, one for trash. Usually with trash, it's a 64 gallon. If you go every other week with recycling, you get a larger one, a 96 gallon. I've seen communities go weekly for both, increases your cost because I'm sending 2 different trucks every week versus every other
week for the.
for recycling. But I mean, you can toy with it, you can look at the numbers, that's a town
You
decision,
think
not mine, we'll do
that-
whatever.
You think providing 2 types of containers encourages recycling?
I,
Absolutely.
sorry.
I
No.
would think it would.
I will tell you, one of your competitors, suburban, a lot of the towns in the Boston area,
Yeah.
you rolled out with the barrels, the 64, and the person brought it to the truck. It wasn't automated. But in addition to that, they'd given out big, huge totes. One for strictly cardboard broken up, and then the other one for glass and metal, cat food cans.
Right.
And with the pay-as-you-go, the more you recycle, the less bags you have to buy.
Correct.
Right. With, if the town, and again, I can sit with you, because I could talk all night,
Yeah.
and I love, I mean, that's what I do, I talk trash all day, so I apologize. But with a pay-as-you-throw program, buying the bags for trash, and then getting a cart system, you kind of duplicate, it's kind of redundant. You already have a mechanism with pay-as-you-throw to reduce or increase your recycling. To me, who's to say, I'm not gonna pick on you, sorry, that you buy one bag and all the others are non-town bags, you put the green or whatever color you decide to go on top, we pick it up, we have a camera in the back of the hopper, but once that trash is in there, it's in there. So it's kind of redundant to have that program. It can be done, I've seen it done, but I think
I'm
it's,
talking about having 2 bins for recycling.
we're gonna use one. We have single stream recycling, so you mix all your
Everything goes
product
together.
together, so it's ease of use. I tell residents and boards, hey, let us do the recycling for you. Well, I don't, but our people in our MRF or recycling center, it's 99% automated.
Automated sorting, so it's just. all
Recycling one is bigger than the trash one. It should be.
Typically, you expect that 66% of your material is recyclable and 1/3 of it's.
I can guarantee you, just from our household, I went from 2 of trash to 1 of trash and 2 recycling.
Yeah.
It's how it worked out. If you sit there and do it right, it can be done. So in my mind, if we have a weekly pickup, I would be weekly for recycling and every other week do the household trash.
And
So-
we could take this a step further too. With waste management, what we would offer the town too is we develop on your website, we call it a widget. We just basically a link on your website that you have information, a resident has an information, geez, well, you know it's 1 day a week pickup, so you know the day. But other towns that have different days, they don't know, but we can develop a website that gives you all the programs that the town has, our holiday schedule, so it's basically one-stop shopping. They can click on, geez, you know, I'm really not sure what's recyclable. Well, that styrofoam cup has the recycling Mobius underneath. Well, styrofoam's not recyclable. We don't
No.
want that. We want the material loose because it's, again, automated, and you put it in plastic bags like that, it gums up our machinery, and we've got to shut down operations, and it's an OSHA, it's a job hazard for my guys, have to climb up there to cut that stuff out. But that's another educational component that we can offer the town.
How much is, I mean, not to steal time, the barrels, how much would a barrel typically cost for the town/homeowner?
Well, again, we would incorporate that into our price. You go with a program like that, and it's probably gonna increase your cost, because now I'm looking to invest in different type of equipment.
So you figure 60 barrels, $60 barrel, 1 barrel per household.
So
Say there's
820?
Say there's 1,500 households. I mean,
No,
say
it's
probably.
No, 820,
800, okay, whatever it is.
800 times 60 is 48,000.
49,000.
So, I mean,
So we would incorporate that, and obviously, I mean, I'm asking my shareholders to spend money, so I gotta get that money back. Now,
Sure.
the beauty with that is the longer, like we are into, I think, the 2nd or 3rd year of our existing contract right now, if we were to go and negotiate something different, maybe later this year or next year, I would say, hey, guys, look, to keep that cost down, because if I only do it for a year or 2, your cost is gonna go up, because I gotta spread that out over 2 years, or 5 or 7. So you wanna spread that out as best you can to keep that cost low.
Is it possible to have a recycling bin and the regular trash goes in an ordinary barrel that the homeowner provides?
You could do
The
automated,
recycling bin would
yeah. You could do
encourage
automated,
recycling.
yeah. You could do automated, but that's what we call automated with the barrel. And then if you implement a pay-as-you-throw, people can use whatever they're currently using in your homes right now, placing your,
Right.
some people just leave the trash bag there, they don't need a barrel. But if, I like to have a barrel because it keeps out animals and
No, we
mixed
were,
things.
it's a town which they have to be covered.
Yeah.
So.
Once again, John, if you don't limit the amount of trash they put out, I don't care if you give them
But if
five
they-
for
But if they're paying for
recycling
the
bins.
bag,
But if
they
they pay for the bag, that's an encouragement right there.
Just make that part of the arrangement and off we go. That would be
I
great.
didn't bring my card in, I can give you one after, I don't know.
I'd
Then,
make it
then if
part
you
of
take that to the voters like you suggested, you're gonna get shot down. The pay as you go.
it. Well,
It's better than paying the taxes at the end of the
Yeah.
year.
I agree, but I think this is
I don't think
something,
people
Well, see, the beauty of the pay-as-you-go is more fair for everybody, because you only
Yes.
pay for your individual. Whereas right now, we're in a big pool, and you may not utilize it, and some people overutilize it, you know? So, I mean,
but I think this is a decision made more correctly by the selectmen with the financial interest of the town in mind, rather than leaving it to people who may not be as well informed about the dollars and cents value of what they're
but
doing.
then you get into the discussion of how government works. There's legislative and there's executive. Okay, the legislative sets the laws, the executive carries them out. I wish Washington would listen to that. Okay?
We
I
elected
think-
you to be our financial advisors, to be our
Yes, and we
financial
just took
managers.
action on that, but something as big as the recycling with limiting of paying as you go, I think the people should have a say.
Farmington's been doing the pay-as-you-go for years.
Yep.
I know that they don't have pickup down there, you took your stuff to the dump,
Right.
it was still pay-as-you-go.
They have a recycling program.
Now they do, but they
Yeah.
didn't back when I lived there.
Yeah.
But I mean, still they had a pay-as-you-go. Just pay for a bag.
I think you just gotta look at it as a long-term thing, you know,
Yeah.
3 years from now, if we're still doing what we're doing now, what are our taxes gonna go up
Yeah.
to?
That's a good
so,
point to
and
make.
basically, our contract, the price is, we're paying $148,000 a year in a 5-year contract, okay? That's almost $750,000 for 5 years for picking up trash. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of tax.
We need to recycle.
So, and I'm not arguing with you, I would never argue with you on that one, but at the same token, it didn't work the last time for several different reasons. If we can fix it, I think the next time we put it out of the gate, it might go a little bit easier. You know, we've learned the hard way, so.
I'm in the seat because I made a promise with recycling. I'm all for it, but it has to be done correctly,
Exactly.
so.
Exactly. And I met with that committee, and I told them from the get-go, if you do not implement something to help drive that behavior, you're gonna get dismal results, and you did. I think there's, I can provide, I think.
It improved a little bit over the span that it ran, but it was still pretty minimal. I think the first pickup was at 1 ton of recycle, and it was up to 3 or 4 by the end.
Yeah.
The information didn't get out to everybody.
Yeah.
I know because it didn't get out to us. By the time everybody got the information, there was so much miscommunication along the line, it just wasn't gonna go.
Like I said, we learned some hard lessons.
Yes, I know. I was here for that.
Well, that's why with your support, we can
Yeah.
talk about it, and then
Well,
we
it's
can
my
get a
pleasure.
committee again
Yeah.
in next month with the committee and see where we failed and how we improve.
Would you like to be on committee?
Sure.
You have
Yeah.
one right here.
Yes, sir.
I think I already know the answer, but I'll ask. Of the towns that Waste Management serves, how many towns do not do some type of recycling?
We're the only ones.
I think you're the only one that I'm
So
aware
I
of.
think we're the one that.
Yeah, and again, there's so many different well, there's a lot of different
Some
programs.
form of recycling.
Yeah, like Farmington, you know, have a transfer station, and they
Yeah.
have a pay-as-you-throw program there, but they have a recycling.
So does Milton.
They all do.
Farmington, yeah, so they all,
Mhm.
I don't know of any other one except Middleton that's not recycling.
We're special.
You are special.
No, we're not. No, not in that category.
Then we don't wanna be special.
Alright, I guess, John, you're gonna pursue this one, obviously.
I would love to.
Okay, so.
Do you want me to run a card in for you? I can get one out of my
No,
car.
that's okay,
Okay.
that's okay. But I will say, during the bulk pickup, I know there was a lot of talking back and forth between Waste Management and Laura, and I will let you know, the communication was superb. Laura said you
My concern with you guys is we appreciate you having your business, and we have a responsibility to make sure you're not getting ripped off. And I think my comments to Laura was like, this is like theft on an industrial scale now.
Yep.
This is just
Yeah.
gigantic amounts of tonnage for this town.
I can't believe the stuff that was out there.
K-A-N-C.
We gotta tell you though, you guys do a great job. Every once in a while, you got one guy who likes to take the trash buckets in my house and put them right in the driveway.
He's up in my area.
And I gotta tell you,
I just
I gotta
told
tell you,
you
when
that,
people
Joe.
come up for their kids' daycare and they have to pull up.
That's
Yeah.
okay. We gotta find out who, I don't know who it is, so.
It makes
It's up on, it's on Silver Street and Dudley Drive,
Because I
I'll
don't-
tell you, up in that area, Nicola Road.
I mean, I put them off the side of the mailbox and
Yeah.
I look away and they come back there like in the road in the middle, so the mail person can't get the mailbox. It's over this point here, so you can't get the driveway.
Yeah.
She was describing a younger guy, dark hair and a beard.
I don't know if he was younger, I mean, he had dark hair and a beard, but I couldn't
When I
tell.
come home, the trash is gone, I just see it, I gotta, come on.
Yeah, I mean, they just whip them, they don't care.
They report to Chris, so.
Just,
So
I had to throw it in
No,
your
thank
ear.
you.
that could have been recently, like at least in the last.
The last
Month or so.
week, like I said, the guy with the white hair that used to drive with Mike,
Mhm.
him and another guy were doing it, but I didn't see who the driver was.
Right.
But this guy with the white hair, he is dynamite, absolutely dynamite.
Very good.
It was for a long time, and I keep calling, I keep leaving messages and make, you know, on,
Who are you calling?
I don't know, I'm calling the
Apparently it wasn't you.
It's not you, it's a woman I end up speaking
Terry
to.
Skinner, maybe?
I don't know, I don't remember offhand, I gave up after,
Because typically all those complaints need to filter to me.
yeah, well, they're not getting there
Because
because
I've
I
not
have
heard of it,
complained.
so.
In fact, I've even complained to Laura, I said, if you don't do something, I'm gonna go out and flatten his tires.
I will tell you, she will sit in the truck and show them how to do it the right way.
Don't laugh, I will.
I told you, I told you.
No,
Alright, we gotta move along here, so,
Thank you, Joe, I'm glad you know I'm not the only one.
thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Nice
same
meeting
here.
you.
And just let me know, give me a call. Laura
Sometime
has my
next
number.
week, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
thanks for your time.
See you later, bud.
Good seeing you. Say hi to your husband for me. Take care.
Home business.
Alright, so, anything else under old business? Mr.
Thank you.
Mr. Mullins.
Right, thank you. This has to do with.
Thank you very much, moving right along.
Yeah. The old town hall, we're moving along. Electrical is, we have an issue with the electrical. Not a big one, but as we are rewiring and we're going on, I have Peter Ciccolini, our electrical inspector here, to advise on electrical
Issues.
way over my head. But as we've been rewiring, we're moving the boxes and so forth, and we're now out, we're moving outside, and we've discovered some issues with the generator in terms of code. We figured out how to do that minimally. We're gonna have to make some adjustments to the generator in terms of cabling and conduit and so forth and so on, which is, we'll take care of that. And transfer switches, we don't have to change any transfer switches. However, the power for the fire station is run off the service that goes to the town hall, which means it goes to the generator. The generator does power for the town hall and does power for the fire station. Looking at that and going through that with our electrician and Peter over there several times looking at that, the transfer box that runs, that the service runs to the fire station is totally illegal to begin with, I guess. Right? Has always been that way.
Not total,
Well,
just a lot.
just a lot. Okay, so it's a lot. The cable is not correct. The transfer switch, they have to make some changes in there. So when as we move out, these things have to be changed to meet code. to keep the fire station on the generator, which I believe we want to do. We need to, it is requested that we have a new service from the transfer switch out to the fire station. That will entail a new line. I don't know if it involves, you don't need conduit, right?
Well, you're gonna have to complete the conduits that's there. Somebody ran some conduit, but it's not completed.
Yeah, it's not completed, so we need new service there. We may have to dig a ditch to bury it. It may not be deep enough. That, unfortunately, I've talked to Cheryl Kimball about that in terms of the cost of this. I got an estimate from our electrician in terms of from the transfer switch to the fire station, around $1,800. That's not really part of our budget per se. And I was advised by Cheryl that she didn't believe LCHIP would approve that if we paid for that out of our funds, because that's not part of our deal. So we can't proceed hooking up that service and the generator, because those are all connected, and we want to have the fire station be able to connect to the generator. So I'm requesting that you take a look at that and let us move ahead, but it can't come out of our budget.
Are you talking about the fire station trailer?
No,
For the office?
no,
Or the,
no.
the building that houses?
The building, the station itself, not the trailer. The trailer is fine.
Okay.
It has been recommended though, but that service there that's on the pole be taken out and just put into the town hall service instead of having that separate service.
Since it's done wrong, is there any immediate danger to the building with the equipment
Been like
that's in
that
there?
since '98, so I guess not.
Okay.
Well, it's a
Hasn't burned down
it's a
yet.
code violation once you start, and we're rewiring that building. So you start moving down the line, codes follow, unfortunately. And it's advisable to keep within the code, because you don't want somebody to get hurt or something to happen. We're doing everything we can to keep our costs down in there in terms of the rewiring and boxes and moving things around and changing forces. But as soon as we get outside, now we don't have to do anything with the meters or anything else, and nothing had to be changed there. So, but this service is not really kosher, not safe.
How big is that generator? How many kW?
15.
15.
It's capable of doing quite a bit of work done, okay? It's like the service, I mean.
Well, it is, and it.
If I may, a couple things. As far as before we talk about the capacity and which are alternatives, I know it was done, pre-2000, but the way it's done was never legal from '98 or for that matter. So it's not grandfathered. A lot of times you could do something in this building, 3 years from now the code changes, but this is grandfathered.
There's no such thing as grandfathering codes.
Well, I just want to be clarified so that I want to make sure that I'm try to be as specific as I can. If what is legal by today's code in this room, if it changes next year, this does not have to be changed because it is grandfathered, because it was legal at one time.
Once you touch it, you have to bring everything up to the current standard.
Correct. Is that right? So which opens that can of worms over there, because the electrician's going to have to work on that generator that's feeding the town hall itself. As soon as he touches that, that needs to be cleaned up. The alternatives are put a new service on the fire department separate from the town hall, but by doing that, you're going to lose the generator backup capacity. So the alternative is to leave it configured the way it's configured, just make it code compliant. As far as the recommendation of the trailer going off town hall, I guess it's more of a suggestion that if you were to do it, the town would long-term save money, because right now you guys pay for that meter that's sitting in front of that trailer, and I wonder how many times it's actually been used. So it sits there every month when you're paying a meter fee. Whereas if you're going to go through this and actually open up a trench and all that, you could either pick it up off the fire station or pick it right up off of the new wire in the town hall and have the same capacity that you have now. So if you're gonna go through this process, I suggest that you get rid of that meter fee to the town every month. As far as the I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna, to your question about the capacity, it's only a 15 kW, which has some room, but not a tremendous amount. So what we did is John got me 13 months of electric bills. So we were able to calculate the demand on that service over the last 13 months. So rather than using it on square footage or building usage or anything else, we used real history. So with the assumption that nothing else is going to change over there between the fire department and the old town hall, we calculated it where that generator is adequate. If you start changing the use of that building and start adding a lot more loads and stuff, the generator's not going to work either. But as you sit today, it's all good.
As far as usage, it hasn't been operable for the last year.
Well, we went back to,
13 months, right?
yeah, we went back to 2015 and 2016. It was down, 2015 it went down in the middle of the year. It was being used because the power was still operating and they had lights and so forth and so on there, just about, well.
The heat on?
And we had the heat, continually had the heat. So the heat was still there running, sump pumps were running.
From the generator?
No. But I mean, the electric bills reflect, actually the electric bills were higher I looked at 2016, I gave them 2015. They were higher in 2016 for some reason. Now, it could be had to do with the equipment that's in there that they're using. Remember, they were in there quite a bit working, so lights were running, power equipment was running. So in terms of the usage, I think the usage was fair assessment of the amount of usage that's the building uses.
So John, what I did is calculated the kilowatt hours based on normal usage, not construction usage, what John gave me anyway. And that's how we determined the size of the service was adequate. Using that same calculation, the 15 kW generator was adequate. Again, with not a lot of room for expansion. You're not going to start pumping up commercial kitchens and things like that. That's not going to work.
A few questions for anybody that can answer. You just talked about the meters, and you weren't sure why it changed. For quite a while, we were getting billed for meters that didn't line up with the right building. Okay? Laura got that straightened out, so maybe that's why there's a change. Meters weren't wrong, it's just the Eversource was reading, this meter goes to this building and it doesn't, it goes to this building.
Well, I just went into the bills and copied all the bills.
Right, but I'm saying it was changed within the last year to be correct. Anyway, I agree with you, Peter. There's no choice, this has to be updated. John, I agree with you, this is not part of LCHIP in the town hall. Okay? Any talk of moving the generator as part of the LCHIP?
No.
Okay. If we dig, this is more from Rick, is any of this paving? Because we're gonna pave that driveway, is any of this, wherever you're talking about
the only paved part would be your walkway.
Okay, so it wouldn't affect what you do getting ready to pave this fall, right?
No, wouldn't
Okay.
have anything to do with that.
Speaking
We haven't
of
really
the,
even planned on that at this point, because stuff has got pushed back, wasn't showing the generator, so I haven't really planned a lot into that parking lot, other than going off the number I got for the pavement.
right now, if there's a storm, the highway garage has its own portable generator. Is there ever any talk of using that big generator for over there?
It's not adequate.
It's not,
Okay, so
yeah,
nothing to do.
that's the other thing that's come out over the last couple of months, is that it wouldn't be adequate enough to run all three buildings, and something about the way the service comes in. Our building versus their building.
You have to ultimately take your building off of your service, and then you'd be talking thousands of dollars and a new transfer switch. So at that point, it would become cost prohibitive.
So either stay the way we are with
Just be
portable,
smart
or
and
put
put a
one of them
separate
other ones
generator.
out back, buy one of them like you got here for this building maybe, in the day.
Sure.
If that ends up being a fire station, obviously you're gonna want that to be
Right.
that way, so one of the generators that run this building behind the highway garage would be sufficient at that time.
If I may, while we're talking about, because John had mentioned, so there was a long-term goal that the current town building might become a firehouse and some, if and when that happens, before you start appropriating big money for generators and all that, a lot of it has to do with classifying the use of the building, and we don't need to do it now, but I would ask that if and when you get to that point, I'll often be happy to offer my opinion on what I know, but can also, I can get access to the state inspectors and stuff if you need it. Just before you go and add a generator for the sake of doing it, you might not need to do it.
Now, that generator that's over there now, that does meet the code as far as how close it is to the building and such, whatever? 'Cause I know-
The exhaust faces the firehouse. So, again, I'm not an electrician, let me clarify that. At the end of the day, we could get manufacturer information from Milton Cat. Part of it has to do with open windows and egress doors. There's no doors there, and I'm not sure what the proximity to any opening windows are.
There is a window there, but that's going to be permanently shut, because that's where the
The only
stair.
other code I'm worried about is putting in standby generator, like you have to be 5 feet from any building. The exhaust does have to be pointed away. But it has to be 5 feet if the jacket around it has a fire rating on it. So the little Generacs out here, at one point there's controversy about what the fire rating on that jacket would be, again, out close to a building. So all these companies making these generators to the state of New Hampshire had to come in and show what their ratings were.
Do you know when that took place?
As I said, about 4 years ago.
And again, not
Right.
to be smart when I say this, but now that location of that generator may very well be grandfathered, even though the wiring needs to be straightened out.
We need to find out about that, because if we're gonna have to move it, now's the time to find out we're gonna move it to do those work.
Yeah,
That's all
and
I'm saying. I
again,
mean, if we have to move it 3 feet away from that building, now's the time to figure it out, not later on.
a couple things. One is that does have they both have weatherproof enclosures, the one here and the one over there. Obviously, that one's a little more of a commercial
And I
enclosure.
really think that cap is probably gonna qualify, that'd be fine where it is, but just wanna double check.
I guess
Check with Cat.
I mean,
Cap will have the specs on it.
Milton Cat can give you the specs on the generator, but they're not gonna interpret the code for you, so at the
No,
end of the
no,
day,
no.
John Mamona, somebody might have to take a quick look at the IBC or one of
Well, we
those
have
things.
to call the state.
Yeah, well,
So.
that, I'm here to help with the electrical. I'll leave that up to,
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think it's grandfathered.
I really think that if we need to get this done and stuff like that, we're just gonna do it right and do it once.
yeah,
So,
I think the generator, the locations, from what I can see, the generator location is adequate. The wiring is blatantly, needs to be repaired. You can't leave it the way it is.
alright, so.
I'm ready to go. I move that we, expend money to bring the line for the firehouse up to code. And it should not come from L-chip or the town hall repairs. It's gonna come from our own.
I will get a firm set price.
Okay,
I was given an estimate of 1,600, 1,800 in that range, so I'll get a firm set. He said, didn't believe, and he hasn't gone into the fire station. I said, do you need to get in there? Not really, but I'll get him in there.
You should get in there to give you a firm quote.
Yeah,
Make sure you don't get
yeah.
any secrets later.
Secrets later, so. Very good, thank you very much. Other than that, we're moving along.
yeah. I don't want this to hold it up. So,
No, we got,
you're nice enough to bring it to us, let's get this thing moving.
right.
Hold
very
it up
good.
for a couple grand, especially. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point.
Okay, thanks.
We good?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, guys.
Peter.
Thanks, John.
Everybody have a good evening.
You didn't vote on that.
Well, I'm waiting for him
Second.
I gave the motion.
Second. The
Well,
only,
I didn't know if you were gonna wait until you had costs, so.
that's what I was gonna say, do we wanna put a dollar, we have to put a dollar limit to the motion. So I'm not too.
Not to exceed 2,000?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
That's more than
No,
enough.
that's, you still wanna
It
second it
hasn't
that
been
way?
in the fire station.
Alright, all the way
What's
up.
It hasn't been in the fire station, so hopefully that's enough.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Yeah, no, I was quoted
So,
1,600.
Now, that is, not getting back to the generator, that controls, should we lose power, the fire department?
Yeah.
Yes, the
so
department,
that
not,
will go ahead and do
not
his
the,
work and he's work.
not the trailer. The trailer has a transfer box on it and a plug to plug in a portable generator.
Because I know during the winter time, when we had a power outage, we were all, showed up, went on call, and we couldn't open the doors because the generator wasn't even working.
Because the generator was out of gas, because we decided to put a propane furnace. in
Oh,
the fire
yeah, that
station,
was, yeah,
and
that
the
was.
calculations weren't with the degree days, and
Yeah.
So that was one of
other
those.
than that thing
That was one of
usually
those,
is
okay, now
right
what?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened, right, Joe Bailey?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that wasn't a generator, that was a fuel failure, not a generator failure.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, do we have any other old business?
I'm just curious to know what's, any update on the ordinance.
Still working on it. Going down through it line by line, it's like 8 pages long, double-sided, so once we get through it with the chief like that, we're gonna send it to the attorneys and,
So you and the chief are still working on it?
we're working on it. So,
This is for Rick, roadside pickup, has that been delayed?
They've done some of the town, I don't know if they've been over on your side or not, but they did do some of the town, they didn't do it all.
roadside pickup, what's that?
Stratford County guys. They-
Oh,
people at
little
the-
pickup.
Yeah.
No, we just went through a pickup.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know if they made it to your side, them guys went out, picked up bags, and we did pick up a couple bags at the end of New Portsmouth Road, so I don't know if they actually went down your road or they did the Ridge Road.
Didn't look like they did Ridge Road, or else there'd been a lot more litters and bikes.
Well, that's true, they did, I know they did Kings Highway, and I went up there that following Monday, and it's like they weren't even there, so, that's the other thing. It's usually where there's no houses, and New Portsmouth Road and the Ridge Road's a good spot for that stuff, so. I'm not gonna say they did New Portsmouth, but they were on that side. We did find rubbish bags at the end of New Portsmouth. I haven't heard from them since, they fell behind on a lot of stuff, just like everybody else has with the weather, so.
Yeah.
Right, nothing else, we can move into new business.
So that's where I'm supposed to be? I didn't make the list like I was supposed to, so I didn't even know if I was gonna be on here or not. It might.
Can I go through mine and then I'll, now that school's out, it's time to put up the flashing road signs. We got money appropriated, okay? It is my impression, Rick, see if you agree. Whoever installs these signs, it's not the highway department.
That is correct.
Thank you.
And whoever runs the sign isn't the highway department.
Yeah.
That is correct also.
We're gonna get going on it, get them up this summer, okay? So I'll take that for
That
action.
is a pretty good liability, so I heard rumor that it could be done through the school versus maybe the PD.
What?
That running, because that's all run off a computer.
Yes, it is.
And your computer can be run by the PD or the school. Because it is a liability thing, obviously. If that thing's not working correctly, then.
Early indications are the school wants nothing to do with it.
Okay, so that probably puts it in the right spot.
Are we
Yes.
talking about the installation?
No, the actual running, when you make the flash.
Now, you have to get a company to install them, and it has to be run by someone. And I think if it lands at the PD, I can't think of a better spot.
So, we're looking at probably solar, could be electric, because it's where you wanna put the signs, there's electricity overhead in both spots, so the line crosses the road at the right spot. So we could have it either place. Solar is nice, you don't have to pay for the electricity. Alright?
Any of the companies that give you the price, give you any options of installations or anything, or that they have someone that installs any of the products,
Yeah,
so.
I think the price included installation, because the solar is easier to install.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
there's no electrician involved, so.
But when the time comes, I would hope that they would confer with you to make sure that the distance off the road, the shoulder, is appropriate for plowing snow.
If they're signed people and they go by that MUTCD manual, they can't mess,
Okay,
I'm sure that those guys are aware
so
of
they
that.
should be.
okay,
But if they need to see someone to make sure it's out of the way, we can be available.
okay, I just,
If they're that kind of company, they
Right.
should know all that sign regulations, how high, how far off and all
Right.
that. Like we had to do when we did the school, remember we were off
yeah,
on some signs on distance and inches and we're not now.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Flashing schools, I think, yeah, Rick?
I got some stuff, all kinds of stuff, but I don't know how
Thanks,
much of it I
Rick, for
wanna,
being home.
I don't know how much of it I wanna give to you tonight now myself, so.
No, go for it.
We're obviously working on road work planning. I've got numbers on the box cut, like we do, when we dig the roads out down 18 inches to 2 feet average, and put back with processed gravel, we get out of your pit. Back with Barron, I went with him, and this is all including down around Allen Way. Go out to the end Allen Way, take a left on the Shore Drive, out that way. That's the area where the box cuts are gonna be. You got 2 or 3 culverts in there. One culvert, we're not sure if there's even a culvert there. So the contract that I'm gonna give you to look at, it's gonna say that there's unsure of the size of that culvert. So it's to be determined, but he gave you a price of what it would cost, whether a 15 or a 12 inch. I got prices for the digging of that area, and I got the paving prices for paving that whole area, which would include Allen Way to be a winter 2-inch base, Shore Drive would be a winter 2-inch base, Butler would be a 1-inch shim overlay, the reclaim would be all of Allen Way and Shore Drive all the way past your place, past John's place, to where we stopped at the intersection of Butler. And skip over that down to around the corner on Shore Drive where we stopped and go to Columbus down at the point. That's all reclaim and 2-inch winter base. So that's what the pipe price will include, and the box cut stuff that I just explained to you, that's what the Barron Brother contract will show you. The thing I want to say about the pipe paperwork is that he went as far as gave me prices back to 2015, and if you want to look to see if you think that they're being honest with us, we can make that decision. To me, it looks more than honest. The original contract he came in with this year, I had Sunrise Drive and Lakeshore Drive on there to be shim overlaid. That's over 1,000 ton of hot top, which would have part of my contract to 185,000. Working on a $200,000 budget, that won't work. And you got $40,000 worth of box cut work and $25,000 worth of gravel. So I cut 1,000 ton of pavement out of that pipe contract. I still paying the same price as I would have if I'd had a 2,000 ton contract. That don't necessarily have to be done. You know how it works. If there's 2,000 ton versus 1,000 ton, usually you pay more. That didn't happen.
So you're pleased with these contracts?
I'm all pleased with them. I mean,
Okay.
there's your 2016 prices, obviously, and there's your 15s. I mean, this year he's gone up a couple bucks on the winter base, and like $250 or $350 on your shim overlay stuff. But you see where it was at 68, and it went to 70, and then back to 68, and went to 70, and now we're back at the $72 for the winter base stuff. That's all up to you. Them are the prices that I got so far from these guys, which is the same company we've been doing business with for a long time. And
It seems like every year we do any pavement, they always come back to like the previous years for us to help us out.
I was surprised when I took 1,000 tons out of that original $185,000 contract, and I'm still paying the same price per ton on that contract as I was the big contract. I thought it would go up, because it's usually all on a quantity based type thing. I think Jimmy will say the same thing. I think that's basically how that
Even
works.
keeping discount, I'm guessing.
We can get Jimmy's discount on this. So, that 103, that includes all the paving part, the reclaiming part, and the fine grading part. The Barron contract will include your box cut, digging it out, your culvert installations, and all your, the ditch work down to that culvert that we're putting across that first driveway.
So what you're submitting, Rick, this has all been appropriated, they've all, so they're just, you're bringing it before them?
Let's make sure we get the best
Okay,
bang
no.
for the buck.
The money's approved.
Oh, okay, yeah, so
At
if there's
town meeting.
anything
It's just a
additional,
matter
just
of how we
Keeping us
spend it
informed.
and who we spend it with, you know what I mean? I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page. We've dealt with these people, I've dealt with Pike since I've been here,
Yeah. When
22 years, so
when you guys think you'll do that, in the fall?
we're hoping to start, just, what I need to do first is get the blessings of the signatures, then I can start getting scheduling. And that's the only other question on that. I always like to try to stop my road work after the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Especially around the lake,
Yeah.
because of the traffic. It's still gonna be bad, but not as bad as then. The only one thing on the Barron Brother contract, there's reclaim in there to reclaim those boxed out sections. If I can't get the pavement close to behind the reclaim, close to behind Butch, I don't wanna reclaim the whole thing and leave the whole thing dirt for a month and a half or something.
Right.
Because I'll probably have a dust problem, plus it's gonna get rough, I have to maintain it. So there may be a little difference, but what I'll do is I'll put my trucks on with him to dig out the hot top that's in the areas that we're gonna box cut out only. And that way there, then will be the only strips that are dirt. Then when Pike decides to go in to reclaim, we'll schedule the reclaim close to the pavement date, so we don't leave it dirt for a length of time. So, butchers may adjust a little, but I'll put my trucks with him to do that.
Sure.
But what I did do this year is I took my trucks out from in that contract some, and he adjusted the price accordingly, because we need to get back into being a maintenance division rather than a construction division, because I don't know if you noticed, but all this drainage down through here, that's all gonna be done. All the ditches are backed up, the water's starting to run around pipes right on your main road here. And I got the same problem on the Ridge Road. Now, these areas I started 20 years ago. We've been there several times in between that time, but now it's time to get the whole thing done from one end to the other, like we started down here. And we can't be in both places at the same time, so.
Your trucks are not meant for construction, they're not big enough.
Right, they don't haul as much, but it does help keep the price down.
Sure.
But I don't think it justifies, what we're keeping the price down, I don't think it's justifying what we're losing on the maintenance side.
Right, so I'd rather have the maintenance.
Right, exactly. And once your culverts and stuff all get filled out, now you're out there with the trucks trying to clean them out too, you know what I mean? That's what we're getting close to, is having that stuff in pipes. Right now, we don't, so.
But I do have one question.
Okay.
I've looked at all of these and I don't see where the price is for finishing Silver Street. Down at the far end.
Far end.
Yeah, right out the line, it's called Farmington.
Oh.
Are we doing that?
I wish we could. Have you seen the holes in that road? They're like, they could swallow you. They're so big.
I thought they were gonna do something down
So
there.
on this contract with Barron's, you want me to go ahead and just sign it, John?
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to make a motion on it, do we?
Yeah.
Motion to go ahead and accept the bid?
I move that we accept the bids from Pike and Barron Brothers.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Aye. Please tell me, Rick, that they're gonna cut all of that out on Silver Street,
Down.
on Farmington.
Looks like they're just digging out the rocks and they're, like they did on Meeting House Hill Road. That's what it looks like to me, but I'm not 100% sure what they got going on.
There's patches on top of patches on top of patches.
I have lived here 20 years and it hasn't improved a bit. In fact, I think it's gotten worse.
Seems like it's time to start here, take everything out, start over again.
My
Yeah.
husband,
Well,
my
they should
husband
at
was
least
talking,
reclaim it and then
Right.
base pave it with that
Yeah.
new 2-inch winter binder they got.
my husband was talking to Jim Horgan, one of the selectmen
Right.
down there, and he said that that is supposed to be done this year. And we
To
said
what
when.
extent?
They
Yeah,
were supposed to take it and tear it up and repave it.
They marked it all out, I know that.
Yeah, I know they
should
did.
reclaim it.
I think we should all have a party if that happens.
Yeah, really.
Your house.
Okay.
yeah, because you use it,
Oh, yeah.
you do.
Yeah, I'll be happy if they could plow it.
But all of us here, yeah.
You think you're all safe on one side,
Yeah.
so on the other side, there's big holes.
Did you say in front of my house?
If you folks that drive it,
53. Oh, God.
anybody drive on the wrong side of the road in the
Yes,
morning?
all the time. Well, if you don't, you need an alignment every week.
But John,
Exactly, that's
John, that doesn't do any good. If you go on the other side, it's just bigger holes.
Yeah, there's one, right where that,
Yes, I meant to do
house,
that.
there's
Yeah.
a house in a mobile home.
Yeah,
Swimming
yeah,
pool.
yeah.
Right there.
Huge big hole. It's like-
Yeah. I know.
I almost did it today.
Oh, no, we managed to miss it, but it ain't easy.
No, listen,
It's all,
That's it.
you think you're safe over there, you're not.
No, well, no, it's
thank you for
Oh, I,
coming in.
I had a big SUV and I went
Thank you,
out.
Rick.
the whole thing is
No problem, I got-
ridiculous.
even with the four-wheel
Okay.
drive, I mean.
Hold up,
I got
please.
plenty.
I got one.
I'm taking off, so I might get this done before 4th of July. I'm gonna do my big debut at New Hampshire International with my race cars this Friday and Saturday, so not pumping anybody up to be there, but that's where I'm gonna be.
Looking for some fans to show up.
I also I went and got 2 prices. I got a price from Barron Brothers Development and from Merrill Construction. Now, Merrill Construction is the same guys that do our crushed gravel in our pit to crush every year for us. The 4-inch gravel and the 3/4 gravel. We gotta relocate in the pit, which we've talked about having to do. Now we have to do it, because we're out of, all the sand we got for next year is already down here, so we gotta get down the bottom of the pit to restart another cut in the
Another
pit.
dig, right.
The way it's been dug down, so we gotta have a road put in down there, we gotta have a couple little sediment ponds put in down there, but we got the AOT permit, which we already had redone. We got all our layout, what we gotta do, just a matter of getting someone to do it. It takes quite a bit of equipment to do it versus what we got to do it all with, you know? So I figured when Merrill was there, when they're doing the crushing anyway, they give me the best price. But they did, they came in like 20 grand to relocate me in the pit. And the reason why is they're gonna bring in a big huge dozer and charge like $4,000 for 2 days for that. So if I had time, I could get a dozer for $8,000 a month and put somebody on it and stay there for a month. But again, back to maintenance is what I'm talking about. So they gave me a price of 19 grand, Butch gave me a price of around 12 grand. And that's to put in the road to sediment ponds, a culvert across that road into another sediment pond. But I don't know, 12 grand sounds a lot of money or not, but you will save that the first year you screen the sand. There's no doubt about it. You get your sand trucked in here today, you're gonna pay well more than what you're gonna invest into that pit. And it's not only gonna get your sand, it's gonna get back in, so you're gonna be able to continue your gravel crushing project. Probably for another 15 years, right after this cut and you relocate down. I've been where I am for 20. This is about the same area, so I'd say you're gonna get out there about 15 more years by investing this money to relocate the pit, which there's not a lot of really options, so. And one thing about Butch, if it's something else that we need, which you can work with it too. And this is something that we're gonna do in the fall.
I move that we accept Butch Barron's $12,000 bid.
I don't have anything written up for you right now, but I'll get it written up and get it signed. Because there's a couple of things that we got him working on. That's the other thing about it is he's not afraid to work on some stuff without engineered designs and everything. Because someone wanted a per foot price on a sidewalk down here on this side of the road. That was at a joint loss meeting maybe that this was discussed. So if you didn't know about it, it had to be at a JLC meeting because it was brought to my desk. But first this side of the road, put a sidewalk down, just pave. Just go down here and put pavement right down the side of the road. You can't do that. That's not going to work. I mean, it's going to fall apart. It's just not going to work. And the other side, you got drainage of the 4-foot deep ditches. The problem is you can't have a sidewalk down this side of this road, and then down here at Avon Lane have a crosswalk come from Avon Lane to a sidewalk. The sidewalk going to have to go down both sides of that road because that crosswalk's got to go from a sidewalk to a sidewalk. You're talking all the handicap stuff too. You gotta do all of that. Once you put that there, and that's gonna be your maintenance forever. The price I got so far, all we would say is expensive, especially because of that side. To go down one side, what they're trying to achieve is the 3 kids on Avon Lane crossing the street safely. That's gonna cost a lot of money to put a sidewalk down that one side. So I haven't got a price for that, but evidently you guys don't even want that price. By the looks of it, you're looking at me like you don't even know what that is. So
I know about it. But yeah.
So that's so I haven't got that number for you, but you knew probably when it was mentioned that it's going to be expensive.
That's right.
Because you can't just what they think you can do is just pave up against what's already there and make that a sidewalk. That still can be drove on with a car. So even if you paint lines on it to make it look like a sidewalk, still that's a hazard in my opinion to do it that way. You have to separate the road from the sidewalk.
For the curb.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you look at, and the sidewalk has to be 5 feet wide. Down this side, you got a telephone pole, gonna be right in the middle of it. So now you're talking, that's gotta be moved. The stone wall's gotta be moved. You got a pine tree, this big's gotta be moved. So, you know, it's like an engineer type, somebody like an engineer, it's easy to do when you don't feel to look at that. It's gonna be expensive even on this side because of the stuff that's gonna be in the way of a 5-foot sidewalk set off the highway.
And you cannot simply paint in a cross line and cheat and say, I'll put a little 3-foot sidewalk on this side.
No,
doesn't work that way.
You can't do that.
No.
Once you, like they were saying, of today's standards, that's what you gotta build this at.
Yeah.
And now it's a 5-foot sidewalk, which back in years ago it was 3, but now with the handicap app and everything, it's 5 feet. So, and the ends are completely different with this now and today. Everything's gotta, so I haven't got that number, I'll get that for you. That's nothing to do with Julie.
Just out of curiosity, you know that nice guardrail that has been put up?
Down here?
Yeah, would that have to be moved?
Well, it all depends on how far, that's the question, how far was it gonna go with the sidewalk? Were they gonna go down past the first entrance, or just to the first entrance, down the second entrance. So nobody knew how far they were going, nobody knew any distances, so we came up with the idea of a per foot price. You decide how many feet you wanna go, this how much gonna cost you on that side, and this how much gonna cost you on that side. And then the decision can be made
For 3 kids?
per foot price.
For 3 kids? For 3 kids to cross the road?
For how many years? Because it'd be going
You
north
pay
here pretty
somebody
quick.
how much to walk them across the, I'm just saying, okay.
Can't you just make a crosswalk and?
No,
No,
that's what
you
I'm
can't, you
saying,
can't,
so.
no, you can't
It's
just
not
cheaper to
involved.
probably pay
You
somebody to
can't
walk.
paint like.
No.
You can, but it's not recognized by
Lawsuit written
MUTD
all
standards,
over.
so if you
If
just
it's
go
not
do it, you
recognized,
can
it's-
do
I
it.
will pick them up and drive them versus all that.
We were told they
crossing.
wasn't walking to school.
That's right.
Originally, nobody's walking to school, it's illegal to walk to school in Middleton.
Right.
Wow, that's.
We were
the first
told
I've heard
that
of that.
before, when all this was going on before like that, there'll be no kids walking to school on 153, they'll all be picked up by bus. Now, all of a sudden, we got 3 kids that have to walk to school. No,
And there's kids on bikes.
There's kids on bikes.
no, kids on bikes is a different thing than what it is with, you know, because there are road rules for bicycles as well, so.
Why are they walking and not being bused?
Well,
Right across the
I was
street.
gonna say, you know where Avon Lane is, it's like really right across the street from the
Oh,
school.
okay.
So then why aren't the
Yeah.
parents just
So-
walking them?
That was asked, and that wasn't gonna,
Right.
that wasn't supposed to happen, so.
Yeah,
uh,
you may be working.
So that's that part of that, any, they all
But
set on
depending on how
that.
you
Yeah.
young your kids
I
are.
wouldn't spend much time on it.
Back to Merrill Construction, so you want me to spend much time on it?
No.
Okay, well, I already, I'm just waiting for a number from him, so we did
Okay.
walk it, look at
That's
it all
enough.
and
You
all
got
that, so we
other
already
things to
spent
worry
it,
about.
so. I do have Merrill Construction, they're the crushed gravel people that have done the crushed gravel for us forever. They haven't gone up in 4 years, this year they went up 25 cents a ton. So,
Okay.
Well, I
Stay
don't
with
know
that.
handle that.
and they may have moved in there today, we was busy in other places, so I haven't been up there to check, but they could have moved in today. And that's the paperwork that comes in later on, and that's estimated right around $28,000 for your 1/4-inch gravel and your 3/4-inch gravel and some riprap and some 2-inch stone. And I'll give you the yards if you want. But, Birch Tree Service, okay this year for them to do the tree pruning, if we, cause I got money for tree pruning,
10,000.
yeah. Plus grant money.
We
the
put
board
that part
grant
of your,
money.
we put that part of your budget, right?
Right, yeah, I just wanted, you know,
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
we're
good.
all set to go with Birch,
Yeah.
and then, okay. There was talk about, we had a price for like 10 grand to weld and paint plows and stuff like that from Paul Taylor. And he never got back with me with anything in writing, and there was mentioned that time when we was doing that. I think actually Jimmy
Jim,
said something
I think
about,
he did.
he was interested in doing it, or what about the guys doing it on overtime? And at the time, they weren't interested in doing it on overtime, but now I guess if it's okay, they may be interested in doing it on
We
overtime.
need to get prices on all 3 scenarios.
Yeah, for, on overtime, going on overtime, I guarantee you.
On overtime
it
versus I would put it out to bid
It would be
as
less
well,
than
that
10
everybody bid
grand.
on it,
Right.
so.
Less on overtime.
I would almost bet, yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's what Jim was saying, is
Yeah.
it would be, because
yeah.
But
Because
if
they're-
we're gonna have it, we need to put it out to 3 bids or do it in-house. I mean,
Well,
that's
I
a
already
fair
tried to
way
get 3 bids, I didn't get, only got 1 guy to come, he wouldn't even write nothing down, so going out for 3 bids is, nobody was interested in
Okay.
that, evidently. That's why I think Jimmy mentioned maybe he'd think about it, and then he mentioned about overtime, and Eddie and Pete are willing to do it, and we gotta finish that Grizzly anyways. We was hoping to do it over the winter, I have it done before now, but we haven't got it done, so Eddie did work on a Friday on it. I'd like to be able to get permission to let them at least finish that, and if you want numbers on the plow stuff, we can work on numbers on that, but I'd like to at least get that Grizzly done, because I need the Grizzly for when Butch goes up in
Right.
that pit, to put that rough loom across.
Everybody know what a grizzly is?
It's
Not a bear.
It's a screen for processing gravel that doesn't have a motor on it. It's just a series of bars, you just dump the dirt on, and the big rocks fall off the back, and anything 4 inches and under go down through the screen. And we get all that material from in the roads, because the material that's in the roads will pack, it just got rocks this big in it. So we've been reprocessing all the material out of the roads through a Grizzly screen, and a lot of the construction degree material you need to build your highway garage is sitting on that site right now, already. So as far as buying materials, we've already got the cost cut down on that, we got a huge pile to go into place. And numbers are being worked on for site work, we talked about getting numbers for the site work down there, that's another number that's being worked on.
Right.
I haven't got it for me right now, but I will have that in the near future, just for your, your information of which way you wanna go.
Good.
Or if you wanna do anything on it right off, so. Flaggers in the work zones, I got money in the budget for flaggers in the work zones. When I get out here working, I'm gonna hire the same company to do the flagging like I did before, because there's only 3 of us or 4 of us in the PD. The radios for the PD, I guess Bill's gonna take care of that. I'm gonna see some radios, instead of spending the $1,500, if I could use something that he's getting rid of, just for a work zone radio. I'm not gonna spend the money, I'll just use those radios. It's just a work zone, we're gonna be close, so. I've done some work on, we've been hit a lot on painting lines and fog lines and yellow lines and all kinds of stuff up here on Kings Highway, and a lot of it's because of the corners. People can't see the corners coming up. I don't know if anybody's rode up 153 in the last year or so, and every corner up there has got what they call a chevron, like arrow sign in every corner, and there's 2. One for the guy coming this way, one coming the other way, and sometimes there's 6 or 8 of them depending on the corners. But I've been up through there at night and during the day, and it's unbelievable difference now, because I ride a motorcycle up through there, how far you can see those corners coming before you actually get to them.
Where are you on, you said 153?
That's where they did it, is on 153.
On the other side of the river?
Yeah, you head up past Poor People's Pub, head out towards, towards Providence Lake.
That way.
Yeah, and the corners, they got them flagged with all them chevron signs now. So I went out and looked at some of the corners, like up on Kings Highway, them corners, this corner down here on Silver Street, down here on Ridge Road, and I estimated somewhere's around 48 signs. I should be able to do all of them corners, pretty much, post and all. And that comes to like $3,600. And that's signs. You put them out there, the sign gets damaged, you replace it. It's not a line down the side at 5 cents per foot. Fog line and a double line down the middle at 7 cents per foot. That you have to paint every year. If the sign gets damaged, you replace it. And buying it by 48, that's where you get your break in the sign.
Do we have money for the budget for it?
You got your block grant money. So I don't commit all your block grant money to the road work money because of reasons like that. Just an idea. You guys, you figure that, hash that out if you'd like or whatever. It's just something that I've seen up there. And we were asked a lot about lining this road out here, and the cost, and once you line it, you gotta do it every year.
That's right.
It's too expensive, so.
This is something I just thought of when I was riding up through there, and how good I think it looks and works up there. It would probably work pretty well in this town too.
Okay.
And I didn't think that was a lot of money for, I thought it was gonna be more than that, actually.
$3,600?
Yeah. That's for 48 signs, I'm pretty sure I can cover it with 48 signs. Cause some corners you're gonna have to put 6
Safety, I think
signs,
that's
some
pretty
kinds you
cheap
have to
money.
put,
Right.
you might have to put 3 signs on each some corners, some might have to put 6, you know, it all depends on the sweep of the length of the corner.
You folks would install them?
We'll install them, yeah.
Well, the biggest thing, if you start out like that, if you have to, if you put in 3, but
You
you
get some
4 or
out
5
there, yeah.
like that, you can always do some
Right.
next year, right?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I can add to them, I can get like a middle and add on the edges or something, on the ends, you know.
Be all right for plowing?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna put them up, we'll make sure of that, right?
Do you wanna make a motion to go ahead and just proceed with that, John?
I move that we proceed with curve chevrons on posts, the amount of, would you say 3,600?
Yes. That'll include 48 signs and 48 posts.
48 signs with posts.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
And
that's
this
easy.
is just for you, John, or for all of you actually, that's a grant that we found on the computer. It's a
Okay.
grant we found last year that when we got to it, it was closed. Now it's open, and it just reopened, and if you read down through there, the way I read it, I think you might, your highway facility might qualify for a lot of that grant money that's being offered right there, and that grant just reopened up. It closed last year, it just reopened, so, like a week ago.
We jump in on it fast,
You
you might
might,
be able to.
and if you read, and I know once you read through it, the way I read it, we definitely qualify. With what they're talking about for population, tax rates, and now we get the school, and, you know, I think we qualify the way I read it, because you read it a little better and you'll know more. But just something for you to check into if
Thank
you
you.
want, you know what I mean?
Public safety services such as fire departments, police stations, prisons, police vehicles, fire trucks, public works vehicles, or equipment. Yeah.
No sidewalks?
Yeah.
No sidewalk drainage, I didn't find any of that.
As emergency management director, we can sometimes tie things together. for example, we talked about a small generator from the highway department. If I had an office in the highway department, just talking, doing this on the new one, if I had an office there, it would qualify to have a grant to have a generator over there. Okay, not a selectman's office, but emergency management
Right,
director.
and that's why we put emergency manager's office in the highway.
That's right.
I mean, if you get a grant for a generator, run that whole, a new highway garage eventually, maybe why not?
And plus I think that you'll find that there was other grants that we were gonna be able to get if we had the emergency management office guy down there. Besides just a generator, there was some money that would help for the facility too, just by putting an emergency management office in there. So that's all I got.
All right.
That's enough
Thank
for
you.
you one night.
Going along.
That's just some information for you, whatever you wanna do on that,
One question for you.
okay?
When you guys are down here, offshore and stuff like that, how much more should be left to be done down there in the future on those roads?
Down in that area?
Yeah.
I'll have to do from, how to explain, you get down in there, you come down to the first valley, then you get on that flat. We did halfway across that.
Right.
And them two culverts right there at the end, we did those. So from them two culverts to Allen Way, because we already started on Allen Way and went around the corner.
Okay.
So we'll have to go from, basically from Allen Way back to them twin culverts, the last ones that we put in. So it's probably about half a mile.
So, but this will complete the project down there?
That next year. We're not doing that piece this year. That's the main road
All
that
right.
goes in.
All right.
Because I would have, but if you look at the way the numbers are, that I couldn't fit it in there.
Right.
This, you know, it's like 29,000. It just wouldn't fit in underneath the 200. So that piece, what I'm hoping to do next year is finish that piece on Pinkham Road going in to Allen Way. And the other thing about mobilization, when you start mobilizing all this equipment, that's at a cost. If you need to move it from there over to another place, that's at a cost. So what I can do down here next year is if I do that strip of Pinkham Road, we do it from this way in, I can keep trucking them right out through and take them right through that yellow gate
Yeah.
on the backside.
Yeah.
They can start laying hot top from there right out Lakeshore Drive or Sunrise Drive. There's no mobilization charge. I just bring them right through that gate right there. I don't have to pick it up, bring it around and charge me. They can just drive it right through there. That's what we did the last time we were down in there. So I tie that Pinkham Road piece into them two Shimobiles next year, and whatever else will fit with the money we get.
Yeah.
So
Just out of curiosity, so. Cool. Sure everybody down there be happy to get all that done, so.
yeah, we're getting the worst of it this year. So
Last question. What number are you running the loading?
57.
Oh, not 48?
No, 57.
All right.
This is the car that we built for Beach Ridge, Maine. We've changed it over to racing a street stock showdown.
Okay.
Yeah. Why, you gonna be there?
Oh.
15,
It's
20
fine.
bucks to sit. You pay $20 to sit in a seat that you pay $200 for in a NASCAR event.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
A campsite I paid
days?
$225 for. I'm staying in the same real estate for 20 bucks.
What day are you racing?
Saturday.
Okay.
We got a
One
test session Friday and Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck.
Might be interesting.
It's gonna be, yeah.
Yeah.
It already has been, so.
All right, moving right along, we have nothing else in the new business, we go to
Thank you.
public participation. We got public participation. Go ahead.
The mailings have gone off to the different cell phone providers, 7 packets of 40-plus pages, over 500 signatures, along with accompanying letters.
You got a lot of signatures then.
I did. Actually, Roger got most of them.
Yeah, I know, I see Roger's the one.
Roger's been everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did talk personally to one of the people we were mailing to because I had to call him for some information. Kind of surprised to even get a hold of him at all, but I did. And he happened to be on a conference call with corporate headquarters at the time. So he turned around and emailed me right back asking me for some more particular information. So I'm inferring from that that he's been in touch with corporate about our needing cell phone coverage.
Well,
Which
Thank you.
company was that?
Which company was
Which
it?
company was that?
Unfortunately, it's Sprint. But
Oh,
once
yeah.
again,
but it's not bad,
two packets went out to AT&T,
Doesn't matter.
2 to T-Mobile,
Oh,
2
so it
to
takes one.
Verizon.
Right,
Yeah,
it
Just
does,
get one on the tower, you know
Yeah.
the others are gonna
Yeah,
fall
that's
on.
all it's
Sure.
gonna take one, because it's a competitive thing. Once
They'll
that's in
fall
there,
over
then they
themselves
see
getting-
sprint, and this one's gonna go on, and that one's gonna go on, and,
Yeah.
yeah, just takes one.
I just got my new phone, so I need that badly.
Well, thanks for all the work on that, so, you and Roger both,
Yeah.
so.
Hopefully it gets it moving again.
Now, did you say it was a 40-page packet?
40-plus pages.
Nice
There
job.
were 39 pages of signatures, along with letters from from the police chief, the fire chief, from Wakefield, and surprisingly, thanks to John Mamone and some little pressure, one from the SAU.
Wow.
Which,
well, it helps their buses.
Yeah.
and I went to the school board meeting, and they were too embarrassed not to sign.
Nice job.
Thank Roger, he did the lion's share of the work.
Alright, there's nothing else on the public participation, we can move into a non,
Well, no,
I'm sorry?
public participation.
participate.
Thank you. I got a question for you, John. How long have you lived up on Dudley overall?
Define live, as opposed to own.
Well, either or, how long have you been up there?
Own is 85,
Okay.
86 maybe.
In all the time you've been up there, have you ever known of any parking restrictions?
None other than what's on for the whole town.
So you
No.
knew there was an ordinance?
There's an ordinance that says you're not supposed to park on the streets. It's not enforced.
I've talked to a lot of people up there since the police chief was over the house on Saturday, I think it was, 'cause he had a loose dog up there.
Yeah,
German Shepherd, yeah. Any other dog I'll approach, but I won't approach a German Shepherd. And we didn't know where it came from, so I didn't want to see the dog get hurt or anything, so I called the station and Bill came up. And my husband's truck was parked in the street, he was going out anyway, and he asked me whose it was and why it was there. And he said, you know, you're not supposed to be parked in the street. I said,
Yeah.
since when? And he said, since
Forever.
there's an ordinance. I says, I've been up here 15 years and didn't know there was an ordinance.
it's the same one that applies to the school.
Yeah, well, the thing that people have said up there, and I've said too, is if you've got an ordinance that says no parking, it should be posted. Somewhere on those streets up there should be no parking signs.
No, you have to post the whole
Yeah,
town.
the whole, it's for the whole
That's an
town.
ordinance.
Yes, but how many, you got a lot of new people that have moved in that don't know that ordinance. I've been there 15 years and didn't know it, Rick.
It's been around for quite a while.
I'm not saying it hasn't.
It didn't even start out as a winter ordinance type thing, 'cause a lot of towns do a winter
Winter
ordinance
ordinance,
November
yeah.
1st of April. Our
That would
ordinance-
be common
Yeah,
sense.
our ordinance is in effect, you're not supposed to do it, period.
Right,
Well, you know, it's like Bill said, they've never said anything because nobody's ever made a complaint. But
right.
now, as he sees vehicles out there, he's gonna notify people because they'll start tagging. So I mean, it would be nice to know that, I mean, none of us ever know. I mean, you're not gonna sit in here and go over every town ordinance we have before you move in here. You would think that, under normal circumstances, it would be posted somewhere.
I think eventually, I mean, Laura's got a lot to do, but eventually all this stuff will be on the website.
Yeah, but still.
Well, it's gonna be posted someplace. So,
No, but I think signs should be, no parking signs should be up there somewhere.
Well,
You'd
but,
have to have them all over the whole town.
Yeah.
look at in front of the school,
We have to do that.
the no parking signs there. You have to do it at that interval for all, well, I'd say 18 miles, but you have to do both sides, 36 miles of road. That's me.
And they park in between now. So what good does that sign really do? Right?
Or customer
Seriously.
reflector signs.
That's what I have to say about signs all the time. Everyone wants signs, they want slow children signs, they want speed limit signs, they want no parking signs. The sign doesn't do anything but stand there. It needs to be enforced.
Yeah.
When they park in between no parking signs, would it make sense to put no parking signs everywhere? Really, right?
Right.
And I understand that, I mean, at least he told me, because I mean, I never knew, and I've talked to a lot of people up there since then,
Yeah.
who never knew that there was
Yeah.
no parking ordinance up there.
well, I like to think that at least we have a chief who's gonna start doing things. the
It
way it's
sounds
supposed to be
like
done.
it.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
that's
it sounds
what I
like-
said,
Sounds
Exactly.
like so.
At least you gave people a warning.
Right.
well,
And
that's what he's doing,
And
right?
that's the courtesy, and that's on them to do
And that's,
that.
and I'm not coming coming
what
in
they can,
making a
so.
complaint on that, I'm not, because I think that what he's doing is right. At least give us the option, the advantage of notifying us if you do it again, you know, we're gonna tag you.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I have to sit there and say, I mean, of all the, we got the reports once a month of all the traffic stops and like that. How many people that, for speeding, get warnings versus getting a ticket?
yeah.
You know, you can't say they're not trying to give you the opportunity to take
Well,
care
he
of it.
said to me, you know, down at the bottom of Dudley, there is a stop sign.
Mhm.
He says, do you know how many people blow through that? I said, yeah, why don't you sit over there like Randy did one time, and you'd make a whole month's worth of tickets in 1 hour sitting there, because nobody stops at that stop sign. I do, but.
Okay. I sometimes go around the block to the other properties.
Yep,
So I'm approaching that intersection coming along Nicola.
yep,
I stop.
Yeah.
You're right, because people do not stop at
They
that stop
don't.
sign.
and people coming down that hill, if you're coming in, and people coming down that hill don't stop, and they make that swing,
Right.
if you don't, if you know what happens, and if you're coming around, you're gonna get hit on, head on,
Tag your
because
ass.
they just don't stop. But the other thing was, Ken, like Ken said, he told Bill, he said, not only does he do it, but Jimmy does it too.
Sure.
Parks out in the street to slow people down.
All right. Might have a good idea, but it's not legal.
Right.
Joanne?
One last thing, I have printed up tickets to the garden tour. $3 a person, $5 a family, and that'll be July 29th. So far, it looks like we've got at least six gardens set for it.
Did you get Roy's garden down on Fox Road this year?
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be a good one.
You didn't do the Baileys, did you?
yes it is.
Of course, Joe.
Now I got weed whack.
Why is it?
Thanks.
Gotta get the mower out.
The thing
Yeah.
is, I want everybody to understand, and not just the people that are doing the gardens, but the people coming to the gardens. This is a garden tour, not of landscaped professionally, you know, called Studleys and everything like. This is gardening for real gardeners. This is how you do it.
It's country gardening.
This is
how you got to do
Oh
it.
my god. I just put the rocks and Tammy does the rest.
You're putting me in such a dilemma.
So, see that
On
this
the
is
one
how you
hand
do it,
is
but
a
this is how
garden
you don't
tour,
do it.
on the other hand is car racing. I gotta decide, you know.
John, I'll Google the car race and let Tammy and Jan do the garden tour. Okay,
Thank you for doing that.
very cool. Alright, so if there's nothing else, we need to move into a non-public situation.
I move we go into non-public at 8:32. As per.
Tammy is recording tonight,
I
right?
haven't had dinner yet.
I'm sitting here looking at my watch, and I said, you know what, I'll sit down with the dogs tomorrow afternoon.
I put him down, you can put him back.
Have you done any trials up there already? Yeah, but what is happening?
Thanks for coming that up.
Saw John today, and I told him I did.
Did you have to check anybody from?
67 is about
Huh?
Right.
Yeah, 26 for the both length of the straightaway.
Let's go.
Yeah, and average speed through the turn, 93.
Hang on there.
Yeah, we had to change spring rates and whips and all kinds of stuff to, just get it in, but we got it pretty good on used tires, so. They changed the rules a little bit, we used to, could be 73 inches wide, now we gotta be 72, we gotta change my offset wheels on one
Big,
side.
big ordinance for our little town.
We used to get cars, people gonna be alright.
We didn't know that.
I've sat on a lot of
A lot of people did.
races up there in turn 3.
I'm glad that,
And,
you know, he came out.
have they finally banked the corners a bit? It's still flat.
If you stand in the infield, there is